breaks and grants to lure the new office. Company headquarters will remain in Seattle. Warren Levinson, New York.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. We the people.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for, from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
We've arrived.
What do you mean?
We've hit the big time.
What are you talking about?
I didn't tell you. We're live on MoJo 50 now.
Oh, that. I could have sworn they were just pulling a fast one on us.
Either that or someone at the top has had a mild stroke. Regardless, we now have to make a promo.
Okay, well, that seems simple enough. How long does this have to be?
I was told that we need to take about 60 seconds or so and tell everyone about ourselves.
All right. I was born in a blizzard in the bleak hours of the morning in November.
No, I don't think we need to go back quite that far.
All right, then. I'm Steven.
And I'm Dylan, and we're hosts of the Defenders of American Exceptionalism,
or DOAE show for short.
And we are live Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
We go through the politics of today and how it affects the culture and vice versa. And we try to bring it back to the Constitution and the principles above privilege.
I feel like there should be a shirt made with that on it.
Yeah, we already have that.
Oh, so don't forget to check us out. Defenders of American Exceptionalism live Wednesdays and Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone, RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. Almighty MoJo 50.
Oh, it is the gift that is already. I told you it was going to be good.
There's so many.
Just a week or so ago on Election Day. Just over a week ago, I said, listen, this is going to be gold. We have some good news. Yes, of course, the Democrats are run amok on Capitol Hill now, right? Of course. But there's good news. And that little gem, Ocasio-Cortez, is already giving multiple times.
She did. Yes,
she has. Folks, it's already gold. Can you imagine a couple of years from now when she gets entrenched on Capitol Hill? She is giving in multiple ways. Let me explain. First of all, Representative-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rallied a group of climate change demonstrators yesterday, waging a sit-in in Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yep.
She, as a congresswoman-elect, held a sit-in in what will be a fellow congresswoman's office in 6 weeks.
Yep. She,
Brad, she held a sit-in. She's a congresswoman. See, you don't have to protest anymore.
No.
Your colleagues in their office, when they're the same party. See, all you have to do is just meet with them.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a sit-in. You can just bump into her on the House floor.
No one told her. No one told her that.
Wait,
to be
what?
fair,
What?
nobody told her that this was going to happen.
How does this work now that I can just...
See?
What?
She's waiting for the inauguration. Once she's inaugurated, she'll get all of the... She'll get the list of her duties. She'll know where her office is in the White House. All of that will become very clear to her. Right now, she's just cut her some slack. She's confused.
She actually said weeks ago, well, when I'm inaugurated, did she get elected president? I didn't realize that. I mean, they're still counting. Maybe she's been elected president overnight.
It's
That's your
possible.
MoJo overnight.
You know,
that's what happened.
They're going to play this in 10 years when she runs for president and wins, they're going to go and they're going to replay bits of audio like this and say,
"Here's her first inauguration in 2018."
These guys were making fun of her, and
now she's actually been inaugurated. So she has a protest in Nancy Pelosi's office, which is gold, Jerry. First of all, you are so dumb that you were part of a sit-in in a Congress. You don't have to do that. It's unnecessary. See, she could have gone to those protesters and said, I'll just kind of meet with you here, and then don't worry, in another couple weeks, I'll set up a meeting between you and Nancy.
Right.
We'll get this done. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
You've got a friend now.
She doesn't know that.
I guess not.
She doesn't know that. And
what's also gold here is that she is already a thorn in Nancy Pelosi's side. Nancy is not a shoo-in to become the Speaker of the House.
No.
It is likely that she would. I mean, Nancy, old dogs like that, man, they have stuff on everybody. And she likely will end up getting it done. But her challenge, like never before, is this new generation of upstart socialist Democrat. Well, they're democratic socialists, Brad.
Yes.
They're not just socialists.
it sounds prettier that way.
It does. Well, they call me Nazi, right? They'll say, you're on the right, you Nazis on the right. What I want them to know is, no, I'm a democratic Nazi.
Yeah. See, it sounds more palatable.
What? No, I'm not a Nazi. That's wrong. I'm a democratic Nazi. It gives you more a say in your Nazism.
Yeah. Exactly.
They would never tolerate that.
It's like
but somehow socialist is okay.
Putting spice on a dog turd. Just flavoring it up a little bit.
It's a spicy dog turd. It's like the marketing word Tuscan, as I say, or Tuscany. It's the Tuscan chicken. So it's just like an Italian flavor.
Yeah.
No.
It's Tuscan.
Tuscan.
Yeah.
And it reels me in every time.
It does.
It's the Tuscan dog turd. Ooh.
Yeah, see? That just sounds flavorful.
It's the spiced caramel dog turd.
Oh, man.
It's the pumpkin spiced cat vomit.
Oh, yes. Ladle me some more of that.
Isn't that yummy? That sounds good. It's the pumpkin spiced socialism.
See? It's all about the marketing.
I may buy it if they go ahead and put something like that on it. I mean, I know what democratic socialism is. I get that. But if they just get a better marketing term, they may reel me in, So anyways, she is the democratic socialist. The young ones are really sticking it to Nancy. And they may actually prevent her. It's going to be a long shot. But if they can get the right coalition, what they have to get is a couple of the more moderate people who haven't been in D.C. as long to side up with them. Only a few, and the dominoes of the rest of them will fall.
Right.
If the others believe it is in their best marketed interest, in other words, it'll be good marketing for them, they'll fall. So Nancy knows this. She badmouthed Nancy on the campaign trail. Like a couple months ago, she was like, well, we got to get rid of her as Speaker of the House. We got to do this. So then, not even inaugurated yet, and is protesting her office. So Nancy comes out and what? Ho, what's this?
What are y'all doing in my office?
And there's Ocasio-Cortez sitting there on the floor. I'm sorry, Congresswoman, you don't have an office yet, and this won't be it. Yours is going to be over in one of the lesser-known office buildings. Yours is underneath the boiler room.
Don't mind that chunking sound you're going to hear all day.
It's character building.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
It's going to let you get a lot of stuff done. It drowns out the noise of D.C. that way.
That way you won't hear the clunk of the elevator over the boiler.
By the way, if Nancy does become Nancy Pelosi, if she does become Speaker of the House, because they set the assignments for wherever all the offices are, you go and see where Ocasio-Cortez's office is. And that'll let you know how well she's doing. Yeah, that's a big tip off right there. What deal she's done with Nancy now. So there she is. She's sitting in the office, and Nancy rolls out there and is like, "What holy hell is this? What is going on? I get the protesters here. What is she doing?" She's at their age. She's like, "Wasn't she elected? Isn't she one of us now? You're either with us or against us."
Alexandria, you're with us.
You're supposed to be on this side of the room, over here. That's what you're doing. So all of a sudden, they got some decisions to make. And then, by the way, the group that was protesting is the environmental group Sunrise Movement, which to me is just taking a big poop.
I was going to say.
That's just
Morning constitutional.
That's right.
That's what that is right there.
Right. I was like, the Sunrise Movement.
It's
an environmental group. Sorry.
Let's all vote on this. We're going to call ourselves the Sunrise Movement.
And we've taken a vote.
I love that. That sounds so pretty. Okay. You know, it's taking a crap. Right?
What?
No. It's taking a crap. That's what a Sunrise Movement is. You're going to be. No, that's pretty.
Yankee Candle's newest scent, Sunrise Movement.
That brings back the thoughts of the fart spray. YouTube. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched those videos, you haven't lived yet. Just look up fart spray.
It's beach aroma, Sunrise Movement. Nobody along the way said, you know, it sounds like poop.
Yeah.
It just sounds that way. Is anyone getting this?
If anybody did get it, they
shut the hell up. Is
yes,
what
they did. They went
composted. Yeah. Is it a composted Sunrise Movement? That's all I want to know. I'm fine with being named poop as long as it's composted poop. Okay.
You know, it can fertilize someone's garden.
That's right. I like Sunrise Movement. I own it as a badge of honor.
Which it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they said.
Congresswoman Pelosi, Representative Pelosi, there's a group of people to see you. It's the Sunrise Movement.
Are they taking a crap in my office?
I think they're about to because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is here with them. She's dropping trow now.
And every time you say that, I think of her squatting under the bridge in that picture. Every time. That is I'll bet that's where they got the name.
So the group's in there, the Sunrise Movement squatting in Nancy's office, and they were. I mean, you're called Sunrise Movement, and you're on the floor of my office. You understand my confusion. They're about to poop. Get them out of here. Anyway, so they posted a video, of course. And then there's some decisions that have to be made. Pelosi's like, I really want to just smack her. And you know, Nancy's like, I just want to bitch slap her back to the office underneath the boiler room. But I got to take this stuff seriously because the Utes are with her.
Yeah.
Ocasio-Cortez understands that she needs to play the game at least a little bit. So after calling Nancy Pelosi out and saying we got to get rid of her as Speaker of the House. That's what she advocated for. And now protesting in her office, taking a poop with the Sunrise Movement, all of a sudden, Nancy comes out and says, I am deeply inspired by the youth activists of the Sunrise Movement and advocate leading the way on confronting climate change. The climate crisis threatens the future of communities nationwide, and I strongly so many words, so many. Reinstating the select committee to address the crisis. So good. She's going to reinstate the select committee.
Oh, good.
Now, don't be confused. This is not a blue ribbon commission. This is not a blue ribbon panel.
No.
Nor is this any type of activist. What do they always say? You got the blue ribbon commission.
Oh, the panel, the commission, and the.
I'm sorry. The not the caravan.
Come on, Ron.
Help us out here. What do they always say?
It's a word.
I just blacked out.
It's 2 syllables. Sounds like first syllable.
Someone's going to tweet this out.
Yes, they will.
Anyways, it is a select committee.
Let's see if
what does a select committee do?
They make a lot of decisions.
Okay. So they're going to reinstate that.
Yes.
That's right. And said that she welcomes the activists and urged the Capitol Hill police to, quote, allow them to continue to organize and participate in our democracy. I have recommended to my House Democratic colleagues that we reinstate the select committee to address the climate change. After she said that, Ocasio-Cortez says, thank you, at Nancy Pelosi. We have 10 years left to plan and implement a Green New Deal before cataclysmic climate disaster. It's 10 years. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says just 10 years left.
So 2028.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
We're done.
Here's what we have to do, folks. We have to make sure that we elect her president before 2028. Now, she's 28, 29 right now.
Yeah, she has to be 35, so
7 years. I don't know if we can get in under the wire.
Maybe. Oh, I think we can bend some rules for her.
Maybe.
I mean, come on. It's just the Constitution.
Maybe we need to change the Constitution
I think
so
we
you
should.
can be president much younger. Because if we only have 10 years left, will she have enough time when she gets inaugurated in 6 years from now?
No, she won't. Let's see. 6 years.
2024?
Right. No, she won't have enough time. We can't do that to her.
That she'd only have 4 years left. I'm sorry.
No, you're on the
She
downhill
needs to start
slide,
running now. And you know what? She should just run. And we elect her. Constitution be damned.
Yes.
We just do it.
Yes.
If you want to change it along the way, fine. But if not, she was duly elected, even though not constitutionally eligible.
And the thing is, if we're talking about the future of the world,
It's going to end, Brad.
what's a stupid piece of you're going to let a piece of paper get in your way?
I don't think you understand the term cataclysmic climate disaster.
Sounds bad.
And then she said
Really
reinstating
bad.
the select committee is exactly what we need to do. She went on to say, should Leader Pelosi become the next Speaker of the House, we need to tell her that we've got her back in showing and perusing the most progressive energy agenda, pursuing the most progressive energy agenda that this country has ever seen.
I want to know who's the smarter of the two, because behind the scenes, those two, I mean, the claws are out.
This shows the deal's being done right here. The deal's being done. Should she become Speaker of the House, we need to get her back. If she does in showing and pursuing the most progressive energy agenda. In other words, if she does this, you're going to have our back. That's the public deal being done, so they don't actually have to talk.
Does she mean we have her back, or we're going to get her back?
We're going to get that.
See?
We've got her back. We got her back if she doesn't. Dude, seriously, this is what's going on. The deal is being done. So task force is the other one. That's it.
Yep. I was right. It was 2 words.
I'm just trying to figure out, where does task force fall? I know blue ribbon panel or blue ribbon commission is the most passive of that. Then task force is actually more.
Oh, that's when
you're out there on the.
Yeah, they're going to get some stuff done.
Okay, so what is select committee? That wouldn't be as significant as a task force.
That's money. That's the funding stage, I think.
So is that before the blue ribbon commission or panel?
I think you have the task force. They get the stuff done. The select committee, I think, is before the task force, because the task force has the job. I think you got
it flipped there.
No, task.
I think you start off
force,
but you can't take the task though until you figure out what's going on. So here's what I think: they start a select committee, and the committee gets together and says, "Okay, stuff, Sunrise Movement, blah blah blah,"
right?
And then they decide that there needs to be a blue ribbon commission or panel. The committee gets to. That's just my. I might be wrong.
No, I think you're right. No,
then a commission convenes over the course of years.
Yes, and then the task.
And then they say, we've decided as the Blue Ribbon Committee that was appointed after we had a select committee have hearings.
Yes.
A task force.
Yes.
To do something.
Committee, panel, task force.
That's what I think. If I'm
I think
off,
you're right.
Okay, good.
I think you're right. And by the way, Jeff in Virginia over on MeWe says, and he's right, why don't we just fast forward to the drama and throw the 2 of them into a steel cage match right now?
I'm cool with that.
I am too.
Hey, listen, if they said, I will pay $100 to see those 2 fight. Absolutely. Easy 100. Even if they said, your $100 is going to go to progressive causes. Fine, done.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I want Pelosi to win. And here's why. In a girl fight, the winner is always the one who rips the other one's clothes off.
Who'd say she wouldn't win?
Well, I'm just saying. Do you want to see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Do you want to see her rip Pelosi's clothes off?
No.
See?
I don't want to see anybody rip those off.
Yeah, that's why you
want Pelosi to win. Don't think. Nancy's old. Just,
But she looks good for her age.
All things else being equal, she's going to lose. Just walking into the ring, she's going to lose. Just walking in, her hips... right? Just climbing over the turnbuckle there.
Ow, my hip.
Okay, fight's over, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. On her way into the ring. 1, 2. It's a standing 8 count. It's a lying 8 count. L-I.
L-E. Yeah.
Like lying like she doesn't tell the truth. But
Yes.
but here's the thing. She's old. She's going to fight dirty.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Not dirty as in like dirty girl.
Yeah,
like
no.
dirty, like cheap.
Right.
Like
Yes. Cheat.
cheat. Yeah, exactly. So that's the... so that's what's going on. Now, there is more gold, Jerry. Gold, I say, in them thar hills. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you may recall, told us last week that she doesn't have enough money to move to D.C. Folks, she doesn't.
She, poor thing.
I know, right? Remember, Reason Magazine said, don't mock her for that. And I say, no, you absolutely mock her. She said, I have 3 months without a salary before I'm a member of Congress. So how do I get an apartment? Those little things are very real.
She was trying so hard to make a point.
She said that she just doesn't have the money, basically. You know, D.C. housing is very expensive.
It's
in some areas, it's more expensive than New York.
Yeah.
To get property and rent and whatever. And as I pointed out, well, that's been created by cronies, by government workers, politicians, these type. Under the Doc Thompson plan, you wouldn't have that problem. But regardless, the Doc Thompson plan is also known as capitalism.
Yes.
Free market.
It seems to work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, according to her financial disclosure report that she submitted to the clerk of the U.S. House of Representatives.
Oops, forgot about that.
As of May 1st, this year, maybe just months ago, she had at that time between $15,000 and $50,000 in her checking account.
Yeah. That's 5 months ago, though. She could have blown right through that.
She could have. Where did she get $15,000 to $50,000? Where did she get that? Remember, she's just Jenny from the block.
Yeah, she's just a working girl trying to make ends meet.
Where'd she get it? Did she save it? Okay, so
Good
she
for
just
her.
then blew it over the past couple of months. No, and how many of you have $15,000? The low end number, because it could be 50.
Right.
It could be 48,000. How many of you have 15,000 in your checking account? Checking.
I don't.
How many of you have ever had 15,000 extra in your checking account?
I've had money in my account before. but
I'm just saying. I've had some of that, and for
it goes very quickly.
over the course of hours before the bills started being deducted
Right,
from it.
yes,
Sure,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But she does at that young age, working as a waitress and whatever, crying poor. She has that,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have the money to get an apartment. Their financial disclosures also reveal that she has an investment account valued as much as $15,000.
Well, it's a rainy day fund. She can't spend that on housing.
Washington, D.C., the median rent in Washington, D.C., so not even the low end.
Right.
She can get a place for $2,700. She would need that because she wasn't moving on election day, and she's had weeks to plan for this.
Right.
Let's say she moves around December 1st. So, most people need a couple weeks to transition anyway. That would be right around. So really, she'd have to pay for December.
Yeah.
And then let's say she doesn't get her salary until after her first 2 weeks. I don't know what the cycle is like in Congress. She gets sworn in right around the first of the year. So let's say she doesn't get to the 15th. So she would need 6 weeks of rent. But let's go and say 2 full months plus a security deposit of the same. All right, that's 27 times 3, just over $7,500. Let's say $8,000 easy.
Right.
She has double that in her account and double that in her other account.
Yeah.
So
She can afford it.
yes, she can.
She forgot she had filed that little disclosure statement before she started whining about the money.
Yep.
Oops, it's the details.
But it doesn't matter. I think it was somebody said to me yesterday, I think it might have been Chef Patrick, goes, I don't understand, this is all fake, basically. It's not real. He goes, what does she gain by this?
It's the sympathy.
Exactly.
It's the
Is it number one, the people who follow her will not actually look at the facts. They're not going to look into this. And number two, she gets to play like she is Jenny from the block. Like she's just this poor little thing that's out there starving like those people. That is going to be her bread and butter. That's going to be her marketing, her base, her identity, the character that she plays. That's who she's going to play that the entire time. That's where she's going to make it. But in truth, she's just the pigs that moved into the farmer's office because right now somebody has to be there during the transition. all pigs are created equal. All animals are created equal, Brad. And somebody just needs to be there until we change it to all are created equal, but some are a little more equal. She's just a little more equal. I call it special. All right, get your comments in via social media. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Brad Staggs, at MoJo 50 Radio on the Twitter, the Facebook, the MeWe. But first, I want to remind you about dropping some pounds, Chubby.
Wait, who you calling Chubby?
I'm just throwing it out there. Whoever.
I've dropped some pounds.
If you said to yourself when I said that, wow, that's kind of hurt.
I said it because you were looking at me
I was
when
probably
you said it.
talking to you if I said
you
that.
You had to be looking at me.
In the audience. Hey, we're heading into the holidays. You are just, what is it, a week from tomorrow is Thanksgiving, the 23rd. Get a jump on dropping those pounds now. And also have the Riduzone with you, on you, taking the Riduzone. So when you go to Thanksgiving dinner, you still eat. You still have pumpkin pie and turkey and everything else. But you're going to consume a little bit less because Riduzone fills you up and it also helps you burn more.
So it won't slow you down.
Right. So while everybody else is overeating, you're just going to eat. Have a great time.
Yep.
And have the little secret knowledge of knowing, right now while I'm eating this turkey, I'm secretly burning more than those fat bastards.
See?
That's right. Cousin Hal, look at him. Slopping over his... I'm actually losing weight right now while I'm consuming. How about that, Hal? I'll see you in January, Chubby.
You know what they say? And that's why I put this little ketchup packet up there. 7 calories a day over the years is what it takes to get you fat.
Yep.
That's what's...
It all builds.
A ketchup packet. If you could knock this off every day, you stand up. And that's why the Riduzone is a tool. It's not a magic pill. You're not going to take it and go, whoa, look at that. I kept eating like a pig and I lost weight. It's a tool to help you lose when you get your mind in the right place.
Go to riduzone.com, R-I-D-U zone. That's riduzone.com. Try it today. It is going to help you lose weight in a safe, effective way. It's not a drug. It's a natural botanical supplements,
it's
basically.
All on the website. You can read all about it.
Riduzone.com.
A mojo for every state. MoJo 50.
Mike.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. All right, people, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? Oh, the bad news? Here it is. People are idiots. The other day, Facebook had a small problem, and the entire social media network was down for about maybe an hour, and people lost their minds. They were all over Twitter. Facebook's down. Yes, we know. We know. Thank you, genius. But the people who really bother me are those who actually picked up the phone and dialed 911, calling the cops to say, Facebook is down. That's not what 911 is for, you idiots. Okay, now the good news. I have found a beacon of hope 100 miles north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the chilly town of Horton, where Ben Shot, that's the name of the company, Ben Shot. They make novelty little glass cubes with a bullet in them. It looks like the cube's been shot. People give it as a gift. It's funny. The owner of the company, Ben Wolfgram, has decided for Christmas this year, he's giving every employee, all 16 of them, a handgun. Their choice of a handgun. I know what you're saying. You can't just give employees handguns. Yeah, they have to pass a background check. But guess what? They all will because he knows them all. They're good people. So Ben Wolfgram, genius, sir. His employees, even the two who initially thought, no, I don't want a gun, say they now feel empowered. Great move, Ben Wolfgram. Testudo, my friend. Testudo.
Mike Opalka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood. Gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. Mojo. A little concerned, folks. I'm a little concerned about the president this morning.
Uh-oh. Is he all right?
I don't know. I mean, based on what MSNBC is reporting, he may not be all right, folks. The President Donald Trump may not be all right.
This is not good news.
Yeah, so this morning I wake up and I start surfing around the internet to see, what happened. What's going on? Did I miss anything? Did anything blow up overnight? What happened? And I see a little blurb because I travel all over the place on Yahoo News.
So you didn't? Did you Google it on Yahoo?
I Googled it on Yahoo.
Good for
I
you.
Yahoo'd it.
Good for you.
That never really caught on, did it?
No, it really didn't.
I mean, outside the gay community.
Right. Well,
So I Yahoo'd it, and I see a blurb headline: President Trump retreating from duties into a cocoon of bitterness. I was like, oh my gosh,
You
a
know-
cocoon of bitterness?
at that level, you can get
Wow, that
mired in
is-
depression and bitterness, and
I mean, that's almost as bad as a condominium of loneliness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but a cocoon is even smaller
it really is. Yeah.
and more sturdy than just a wrap of depression.
Oh yeah. Try to rip apart a cocoon. It's tough.
It really
It's
is, and you're going to
fibrous.
be in there.
It is fibrous.
You know, I don't know what's going to happen when he finally eats his way out of the cocoon of bitterness. If he will emerge a glorious butterfly of anger, I don't know. I'm just.
Fabulous colors.
It will be. It'll be
It'll
fabulous.
be
his anger.
beautiful. It will be beautiful.
So I saw, wow, retreating from duties into a cocoon of bitterness. That sounds serious. So I click on it and I start reading the story, and that's pretty much the story. That doesn't add anything to it. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, I see. It's a link. The reason there's not more meat to the story, it's a link to Lawrence O'Donnell's last word last night on MSNBC. Okay, he did a monologue that's backing up how President Trump is retreating from his duties as president. I mean, he's not performing his presidential duties because he's trapped in this cocoon of bitterness. And I was like, damn, okay, Lawrence, what do you got? So I loaded up, and it's a 10-minute and 40-second monologue from last night that I found on YouTube. And I'm like, okay. And I listened to it.
Give me the meat. Give me the
Right.
meat. Yeah.
The first minute and a half is about how Melania fired some lady and Trump didn't know. I mean, that's not a cocoon of bitterness.
No.
And how is he retreating if Lawrence even mentioned in the first minute and a half that he gave a press conference
Right.
yesterday and then quickly said, but that was one of the few times that he's been
See?
seen, since the election.
Just like the groundhog picking up for a moment, then back in the hole.
Right, Brad. I mean, in the months and months since the last election, where has Trump been? Because it's been like 8-12 months since the election, and he has been hardly anywhere.
He's hiding. He's in that cocoon.
How long has that been?
He's
It's 12 months. No,
let's see. It's,
since the last election.
It would be about a week. 7 days now.
Wow, in that
Yeah.
7 days, he has not been a lot of places.
Well,
Wow.
What does it take a moth to emerge from a cocoon? It's more than a week.
If it's after the election, how long does it take you to build the cocoon of bitterness?
Oh yeah,
You're out on the tree limb after the election.
Yep.
Right? And you're like, wow, I'm feeling depressed. Because bitter even
Need to
from the election.
spin a
So I'm going to
cocoon.
start spinning this cocoon of bitterness. How long does that take?
Man, I would think
Hours? I mean, a day,
I
right?
would think a day at least.
Okay,
Because
it's going to consume most of your day. So
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the 7 days is out. Done. Right. Okay. And Lawrence O'Donnell wrote this monologue, even though it was performed last night, yesterday. So the cocoon of bitterness existed as of Monday night. So now you're talking 5 days.
Yep.
And in that 5 days, how many duties did he actually retreat from? It doesn't seem like a lot of time.
No, but I mean the list. Think about everything the president has to do. It has to be a long list of things he didn't do.
Actually, it's only 4 days because he didn't have a lot of the election info until Wednesday morning,
right.
late Tuesday night. So it's not even Tuesday. It's like
Sunday.
4 days
Yeah.
to be in that cocoon of bitterness.
Yeah.
I would think though that any moment in a cocoon of bitterness is like dog years.
It's like being married in Des Moines. A year feels like 30. It's
A cocoon of bitterness, every minute is like 30 years. So maybe Lawrence's point. So anyways, minute and a half, and he goes to the cocoon of bitterness. And then he starts mentioning,
it's better than the cone of silence.
yes,
Much better.
that he got the cocoon of bitterness information from the LA Times.
That bastion of truth.
Right.
Yes.
So the LA Times has reporters that heard from somebody who knows somebody who was at 31 Flavors last night and
Right.
saw Ferris pass out.
Yes.
And
see?
according to that person, they have a connection at the White House
Actually, it's
with-
the brother of someone.
of somebody at the
Yes,
White House.
Yes.
but that person knows somebody who anonymously may have written an article at one point about Trump being crazy. And they said that their mother believes that Trump is retreating from his duties into a cocoon of bitterness.
So how could you question that? I mean, I don't understand.
And then Lawrence moved on to a panel. So Yahoo reported something that Lawrence O'Donnell said that was literally like a statement, a sentence or two.
Yes.
That he got from the LA Times, who got it from somewhere. And according to them, it's a cocoon of bitterness. And that's the whole headline.
What all of this means, of course.
Can you sum that up as some sort of...
whoever's writing for Lawrence O'Donnell is really good at clickbait.
There it is.
See?
I mean, aren't you concerned? I mean, if you're on the left, you're like, yes, cocoon of bitterness. And if you're on the right, you're like, oh no,
what's wrong?
Cocoon of bitterness.
We've got to go cheer him up. We've got to get him out of there. Someone bring scissors
and sugar.
That's what
gets rid of bitterness.
Don't you have to put sugar in the water because a moth can't eat the sugar? They have to lick it up with that little
too literal in
thingy.
this, just so you maybe hear. So here's Lawrence O'Donnell last night on President Donald Trump's cocoon of bitterness. It's very serious. You know, it would help if I actually was ready to go, Brad. You're going to have to go ahead and plug that in for me because
I'm going to put it right in there. Hold on to that.
Just stick it in the hole. Is it in the hole?
It's in the hole.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, here's Lawrence O'Donnell in the cocoon of bitterness.
The President of the United States has retreated into a cocoon of bitterness and resentment. That's according to multiple Trump administration sources.
And resentment, which was omitted in the headline.
And multiple sources.
Yeah.
Multiple. It's not just one person out there making S up.
Listen, the barista at my Starbucks, he knows it. Because he saw the headline from the LA Times. That's a source. That is.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, he's been right about several things in the past that...
Right?
You can't question him on that.
So, so it's bitterness and resentment, and I'm sorry for not including that as part of it. They shortened it for the headline.
It's worse than we thought.
It's resentment, too. Come on.
Bad.
With the Los Angeles Times, the LA Times reports that the president's mood apparently changed after Republicans' major election losses last week. Behind the scenes, they say that
major losses last week.
Major losses. Huge.
By the way, that's also one of the sources. Major loss?
Yes.
He's in the Air Force.
Yes, he is.
Has lashed out at several aides, from junior press assistants to senior officials. He's furious, said one administration official. Most staffers are trying to avoid him. The official who spoke on the condition of anonymity painted a picture of a brooding president trying
brooding.
ASC resentment and
bitterness, resentment,
and
brooding. All of those. Is that good? Do you think that's good?
No.
The President of the United States, the leader of the free world?
We may have to have an intervention.
25, baby. 25th Amendment. Right?
Decide who to blame for Republicans' election losses. The LA Times reports that President Trump has been increasingly absent from public life in recent days.
Finally.
Yes.
Here's the proof now.
Yep.
See, you were out there in the audience going, well, that's just them saying this. It's just a line like he's depressed.
No.
And that's, how do you prove it? Whatever.
Here's your proof.
Here's the proof. He has withdrawn from public appearances.
Yeah.
Now, remember, less than 45 seconds before this, before he started making this statement, this very second, he reported the president was at a press conference.
Yeah, but it was a small one. Very few people.
So that is at least one over the course of the cocoon for 3.5 days since the election. Okay. Okay. So here's the proof, though. Here's the places he wasn't.
No kidding. He has canceled travel plans. He's dispatched cabinet officials and aides to events in his place. The president is sending...
Because presidents never do that, ever.
Unless they are wrapped in a cocoon of bitterness and resentment. And what was the third one? He's depressed. Too.
Depressed, right. Yeah. Here we go.
Vice President Mike Pence to Asia for the annual summit there in November that past presidents have almost always attended.
Almost. Always attended.
Well, and we all know Trump.
Almost.
Trump hates Asians, too, so.
That is true. That's a great
point.
That's
the real reason he didn't want to go.
That's right, because you know what? The Mexicans work so much better for him. They work cheaper.
Yeah, they're not as smart as the Asians.
That's right. Here we go.
Jordan's King Abdullah met today in Washington with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
Aha!
Whoa, no one said that. That right there is the linchpin.
So wait a minute.
That's it.
The Secretary of State met with a world leader.
Yeah, see? You never saw Hillary Clinton doing that.
No.
This is...
And John Kerry, never saw that.
No.
There it is.
I mean, he laid out...
Do you need more? Seriously?
I always need
to
more.
prove the cocoon of bitterness.
Yes.
Not President Trump. Defense Secretary James Mattis announced that he will be traveling to the Mexican border to visit with troops who the president deployed against Central American asylum seekers who are walking very slowly toward our southern border. According to the LA Times, Trump had reportedly considered making that trip himself, but has decided against it. Nor has he spoken of the caravan.
Folks.
Wow.
What more do you need?
Wow. It is time for an intervention. There's no doubt about it. This man is a man in deep need of help.
I don't think they have really even gotten to the bottom. They've just scratched the surface of what's going on here.
Yeah.
I'm going to propose something that may be shocking to people.
Oh, boy. All right.
And I caution the audience because this may be a little triggering. Okay. What if it's worse? What if it's not a cocoon of bitterness, but it is actually, ready? That is actually de-evolved into Russian nesting dolls of despair.
Oh, no. I can't believe you even said that out loud. It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I don't want that to be true. But imagine you open up that cocoon of bitterness, right? We're coming, Mr. President. We're cutting you out, and you open it up. And there's another cocoon of bitterness. Essentially, Russian nesting dolls, because if you open that up, more bitterness.
And it's a different color, too.
Yes, it's slightly different and smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
You don't know how many.
No, you don't. Not at that point.
Keep opening them up and opening them up, never getting to the Tootsie Roll Center.
No.
That is President Trump.
That's very sad. Why would you start off just, I mean, I don't know just put that on a system.
Listen, they're doing good work over at MSNBC. Those journalists over there holding the president accountable.
Well, what did you just call them?
The journalists holding the president accountable. The fourth estate. Aren't they up to like the fifth or sixth estate yet?
I would think so.
I mean, it's been a number of years.
It has been.
So they're holding him accountable there. I'm just saying maybe you go it because, I mean, it is Russia. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Russian nesting dolls of despair.
We know his connection with Russia. I mean, come on.
You think he's just going to be happy with the cocoon of bitterness when he can have Russian nesting dolls of despair?
Exactly.
Come on.
You go big or go home.
I hope that Nancy Pelosi is working on some sort of select committee.
Oh, you know she is.
On the Russian nesting dolls of despair.
Oh, she is. You can count on that.
Okay.
She is behind the scenes working her tail off.
It's a rough day for us all, folks. I understand that. I'm sorry to get that out there, but we have to share the news of the day with you so you're prepared and can be prepared to stand with, just stand with Congress when they launch that challenge to the 25th Amendment.
If the president is in trouble and needs our help, we have to answer the call of duty.
I would say 25th Amendment challenge to the president.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, unless you're going to be one of those people just giving the president a political hand job.
Yes. Yeah. Not
okay.
Not.
All right. Communiques coming in. I'm sure people have questioned our little Ridge Zone about people losing weight. Whatever. You know, there's another way you can lose weight.
Yes. Have you been?
A gun will do it. Starvation. Those are some ways. But Riduzone is going to be a healthy, effective way to do that at riduzone.com. There is another way, though, and that is with another one of our clients, MoJoWildRice.com.
So are you suggesting that healthy food is a part of a lifestyle that could actually help you achieve a healthy weight? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, healthy food leads to a healthy lifestyle. That's exactly it. I'm not suggesting, I'm saying it. I'm outright saying it. MoJoWildRice.com. It starts with that only native grain in North America. What are you eating? What are you eating? Oats from the Middle East? Please, other rices that are from the Orient? Please.
That's crazy.
What are you, an American or not?
Imported food? We have it right here in this country.
Quinoa. And you know where that's from.
You're talking about quinoa?
Yeah.
I love quinoa.
Fine. You want to stand with the Liechtensteinians? You know, it is
now
the
I
only.
Feel bad about it.
Quinoa is the only native grain to Liechtenstein.
And their #1 export.
Yes, and you're going to stand with them over America? How dare you?
It's crazy.
I mean, I know I'm challenging people to choose between being a nationalist or a globalist. I'm just saying a little extra help for the folks back home, the boys at home. You know what I'm saying?
You want to do something good for the country? Go to MoJo Wild Rice. I mean, show your patriotism. Show that you give a crap about this country, for crying out loud.
And hey, if it is the only native grain in North America, that means Native Americans stand with you too.
That's right. Don't Liechtenstein.
And it's North America, which means you got the Canucks and the Mexicans as well. So it's time we
make a choice.
Have some sort of NAFTA plan to stand against the Liechtensteinian Kanoa. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a very valid point you make.
MoJo, wildrice.com. Fantastic wild rice. And I know when we say wild rice, you're probably thinking the black guy in the box or one of those, the long. It's not that. It's not that stuff can't be tasty as well. I mean, black guy's got some all right rice.
I'm thinking of whipped maple honey.
It's just not the same quality, and it's not the exact same product. It's very different. Much more higher quality and better for you and tastes fantastic. What are you talking about?
They have whipped maple honey. I mean, it's not just rice. It's not just wild rice at mojowildrice.com. It's whipped maple honey. Things that sound dirty but really aren't.
That's what they're going for over there at mojowildrice.com.
Whipped maple honey. I mean, that stuff is really, really good.
Now, you're probably saying to yourself, you're like, wow, that's amazing that you guys got the same name. Is that why they decided to sponsor the broadcast? No, it's actually Minostalgia.
Yes, Minostalgia. But it's so much easier to spell MoJo, and it takes less time. And if you really are serious about eating healthy and eating good food, you don't want to spend all your time on those keystrokes. Minostalgia, it's just confusing. Just MoJo Wild Rice. It's so simple. And things like the maple whipped honey, think about that on the table at Thanksgiving.
Their whipped honeys really are pretty awesome. Imagine really a creamy honey, essentially.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. Yep. Or if you've ever had like honey butter, it's along that line, but if you don't have the butter. The nice thing, one of the other nice things about Minostalgia, I want you to go right there, Brad. Do you have your glasses on?
I do, and you don't.
Read
That's why you're
that lengthy list of ingredients with all of the phosphate and the.
Whoa, you want me to read all of these ingredients?
Dye number. Read all of them, and it's going to take a while. But
all right,
go.
Here we go.
Hang on, let me. Where's the bell? I just want to ring on each time you get an ingredient. Go.
All right, U.S. and Minnesota Grade A clover honey, natural maple flavoring.
Okay, what's next?
That's it. That's all. And you don't even
know what else is in the ingredients.
That's it. That's all.
Turn the jar. What else? There's got to be.
That's it. That's
so it's got maple and honey in the whipped maple honey.
Yep, that's it. That's all there is to it. You
can
that
use
seems
this as fairly healthy,
and you can use it in hot cereals and teas.
And it's a floor wax.
Right?
It's both a dessert topping and a floor wax.
If you have squeaky door hinges,
right there. Works perfect on it.
Plus, then if you ever need a snack, you just lick the hinge.
I like a little under my armpits during the hot, sticky weather.
Oh, yes.
You're still going to be sticky, but at least you now control the stickiness. If I'm going to be sticky, I want it on my terms.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. You could warm 2 tablespoons for a special treat on ice cream.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, I love it when they talk dirty.
That would be awesome in the hot toddy.
This is really good stuff.
So, Chef Patrick made a hot toddy the other day. You ever had a hot toddy? You know what a hot toddy is?
What's in it? I think I've had one, but I can't remember what's in it.
You had one downtown, right?
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you want a hot toddy?
Is it got alcohol in it? I don't even know what kind.
How are you? I'm Toddy. And I'm so hot.
That was once. It was in college.
So no, you got the good quality like whiskey bourbon, right? And you put hot water in. He put lemon and what else did he put with it? Ralph, he put
it's Ron.
Ron,
it's Ron over there.
It was
I think he put lemon. I think he put a little honey in it.
That's what I was thinking.
Lemon, honey.
That's what I thought.
Bourbon and water.
So
Don't
imagine
you really drink
this.
those when you're sick?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it was awesome. So imagine this, but use the maple whipped honey. So on Thanksgiving or the holidays, one of my dock time holiday things, one of my little dock time. I'm not going to share all of them with you. There's many.
Is this when you're alone or with people?
This is alone, but clothed.
Oh, no one cares about that.
Not sure I can share the other ones. The pictures are on the internet. Just look.
New bit, by the way, Doc Holidays.
Yeah, Doc Holidays. It's like Doc
It's
Holiday.
a reference to a killer is what it's a reference to.
Yeah. I like to take the moment when the few quiet moments you get around the holidays between decorated people, and then you got to put the presents out, and you got all the
wrap the damn thing, put it under the tree.
Is when it's all said and done, maybe Christmas Eve after you've taken care of all of your parental duties, or Christmas night after the kids are in bed and your parental duties are done and all of this.
After the chore.
After the chore, and you get the quiet few moments alone before you go to bed, and the lights, the tree are on, or but the other lights are off, and you're sitting quietly in the dark with the glow of the tree, is to start drinking.
I found that keeps the voices quieter.
Seriously, a quality, manly belt of liquor.
It allows the emotion. You can sob quietly in the dark.
Yourself, exactly. Honestly, that's it.
You just sit there, and if it's dark, no one sees the tears.
They don't. That's it. And you see the lights reflecting on the ceiling, and you can see the shadows of the branches of the tree and stuff like this. You sit there. This would be pretty good in that. So you do the hot toddy. You get some booze, you little bit of honey from Nostalgia, the whipped honey, and you stir it in there.
Just
and
let it out. Just let it all rock.
You sit
back
there, and
forth.
it's warm, and it's nurturing.
It's like a cocoon.
It's like a
a
cocoon,
warm cocoon
of nostalgia and liquor.
Yes. At MoJo
That's it.
.com. I mean, that's where else do you? That's the only place you need to go.
Sometimes you got the friend over, right? The brother, the somebody.
I thought you
close
meant
friend.
the one you paid for.
Not the mistress. That's
okay,
different.
Sorry.
And sometimes you commiserate, right? Brad's there. The wife's in there, blah, 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 and the kids are bouncing off the walls, and you head out to the garage, standing over power tools, and you're like, how you doing, man?
Just making it.
Just
holding it together.
Okay, right?
Got the new job and trying to make ends meet.
Drink quality drinks at that moment.
Yes.
You have so little else. I'm challenging you to have Nostalgia wild rice, whipped honey, and other such products so you could make a quality, manly hot toddy. Right?
And to stare at each other in the dark in the garage, in the shop.
I find I can process a lot more of the blah, 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 blah. Mine. A lot more of that.
Oh, yes.
When I'm drunk.
Oh, completely. And then when it gets to the point where you just pass out, it all becomes quiet.
Yep. So, MoJoWildRice.com.
Wow.
So that proud. Was, by the way, not the script they sent me.
No.
The folks at MoJoWildRice.com did not write that and send me.
Right now, they're questioning all of their decisions.
That was what you call an ad lib. I just kind of put it out there. I went with it. Felt good.
It was emotional vomit is what it was. Yeah. Kate Carroll, having an awesome kindergarten teacher is linked to better soft skills and thousands more in income in adulthood. Just wanted to mention that because she used the hashtag what I learned today, and she has never once listened to this program. Just thought I'd throw you out.
Those are some of my favorites. The people who don't know that this is a thing elsewhere.
Yes. Non sequitur.
They either saw it come up and misunderstood, or themselves were like, here's what I learned today is I start my morning not wrapped in a cocoon of bitterness because I work as a teacher and I understand I have government money. I have tenure. Trust me, she's a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher. That was just self-promotion.
Yes, that's all it was.
What's that, Ricky?
Oh, no, I was going to say something about Sunrise Movement, and then I just moved on. Sorry.
You movemented on. Got it.
Wow. MeWe, I just, John, they started a hashtag on MeWe, hashtag going to MSNBC for news is like.
That's pretty nice. Well, somebody needs to grab that and put it on the Twitter and Facebook as well. What is it? Hashtag going
to MSNBC for news is like. Going to Bernie about leading by example of how to live like a socialist is like going to a proctologist for a dental exam.
Hey-o.
I put my name in there. I don't know. Is like, nope, can't read that one.
Your teeth seem to be in bad shape, Mr. Thompson.
Is like going to Alyssa Milano for logic and reasoning.
Ah, that's a good one.
You see? Is like having AOC explain the economic benefits of capitalism.
AOC? Who's AOC?
That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Boy, those people over on MeWe, I'm just saying. The Steve 42. How do you fly to France to give a speech while stuck in a cocoon
of bitterness? You can't fly.
They cut the whole branch off. And
you don't fly until after you emerge from the cocoon.
Yes.
Then you've got your wings.
Yes, and you don't need to use Air Force One.
Here's what I wonder. Who is going to be the last man standing on the MeWe MoJo chat room?
Last man standing?
Right. Who will be the last person? Because, they are, I'm assuming, losing people left and right.
Oh, no. It's growing.
Is it?
Yes, it's growing. This is
because this
platform.
It's like King of the Ring. It's like a one of those WWE matches where it's like
you're trying to outdo each other.
They're all just thrown into a steel cage match and let's see who's left standing.
Yeah.
They are. I got to believe there's people in there going, wow, this is too crazy for me. I'm bailing.
They keep ratcheting it up on themselves. And
there's no headroom.
The Mojoinians.
By the way, no headroom is not edgy enough to even allow me to. I would be down in a second.
That's why
if I bring that.
That's why cars have tilt wheels.
So, who's going to be the last man standing? Because they're going to be like either. They're either going to run them through with cold steel, and they're going to just bodies scattered about the MeWe MoJo chat room, or people are like, I'm out of here before I'm in the bad part of the room. No, that's the entire room.
There is no light in this room.
It's all complete darkness. We're all just feeling our way through. Everything is a bear trap.
Yes,
it is one big, get out, save yourselves. That's what it's kind of like. So who's going to be the last man standing in there that's like, it'll come down to two of them, and one of them's like, that's it, I'm out.
I'm betting on Kloppenborg, the third.
Really?
Yeah. He's the guy's got stamina.
He's such a jackhole, too.
The guy has got stamina. I will give it to him on that.
You know what? The money may be on Lori D.
It could come down to John and Lori
she's
D.
got a bigger metaphorical penis than most of the men in the room. She's just slapping people around.
I have consumed alcohol with Lori D. She can, let's just say, she can put him away.
He's consumed alcohol with Lori D, and let me just say, it's not metaphorical.
There were a group of us. To be certain. It was boy. Let me tell you what. You had to bring your A game when you drink with her. Woo! All I'm saying.
All righty. Well, we've learned a whole lot already. Most of it we can't repeat.
So true.
Share it with us where you can and what you can across the social media platforms. This is your Daily MoJo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. With the discovery of 6 more victims, the death toll from the devastating Northern California wildfire has risen to 48. Search teams using sniffer dogs as they look for more victims. Wildfire evacuee Greg Gibson doing what a lot of people are doing. He's seeking information about friends still unaccounted for.
My next door neighbors, they were on the TV as missing people, so I thought I'd see if their family has remedied that. I was hoping, and then also a friend of mine from the gym. I haven't been able to get in touch with him. His phone's out.
President Trump has approved a major disaster declaration for California, and he's sending his Interior Secretary to visit the fire zone.
Instead of making a planned trip to Asia, Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke travels to California to support efforts to contain the wildfires. He says he plans to meet with California Governor Jerry Brown to offer the administration support. Over the weekend, President Trump blamed poor forest management for making California's fires so big and costly. Yesterday, though, the president thanked fire crews and other officials dealing with the deadly blazes. Greg Clugston, the White House.
And crews also continuing to battle deadly and destructive wildfires in Southern California. House Republicans meet today. They'll be selecting their new leaders.
The current majority leader, Kevin McCarthy, is expected to easily fend off a challenge from Freedom Caucus co-founder Jim Jordan and win election as minority leader for the next session of Congress. Louisiana's Steve Scalise and Wyoming's Liz Cheney are running unopposed for the numbers 2 and 3 spot. Democrats won't pick their leaders until the end of the month.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. Israel's military has shot and captured a Palestinian who it says approached the Gaza perimeter fence, hurled grenades into Israel on Wednesday. First confrontation since Hamas and other Gaza terror groups accepted an Egyptian-brokered ceasefire. Wall Street Dow futures down 4 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's DIA Thrive.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. What is the purpose of government? Founding Father Oliver Ellsworth believed he knew. Oliver Ellsworth was a delegate at the convention which formed the Constitution, and later he became the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Concerning the purpose of government, Oliver Ellsworth declared, "The primary objects of government are the peace, order, and prosperity of society." Yet how were these goals to be achieved? Ellsworth explained, "To the promotion of these objects, good morals are essential. Institutions for the promotion of good morals are therefore objects of legislative provision and support, and among these, religious institutions are eminently useful and important." Founding Father Oliver Ellsworth believed government could never reach its goals apart from the help of religious institutions.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
The mothership has landed.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I just retweeted some things or whatever. Okay. Get your comments in all across social media. Bradley J. Staggs with a few of those communiques right now.
Whatchamacallit? So my nachos last night weren't healthy? Damn it.
I don't want to cast aspersions on your nachos.
That's a hard thing
Only
to do anyway.
you know for sure if your nachos were healthy.
That's true. And you are the.
I know quite often mine are healthy, but I would say quite often nachos.
Thank you. Stinky says, I'll stick to my chrysalis of cataclysm. Thank you.
Is what?
Is chrysalis of cataclysm. You see, it's not a cocoon of bitterness,
It's a chrysalis.
Chrysalis of cataclysm.
Which is also a
yeah,
cocoon.
It's
It's the same thing right there.
Different, though.
Do you really think about
it's very highbrow.
It's the news. The news. And for those of you just listening and not watching, the news, picture me making the air quotes. The news reported on multiple platforms that the president is in a cocoon of bitterness.
Yes, he is.
With no proof that he is affected negatively by the outcome of the midterms at all.
No.
I mean, I'm sure he's not happy about it. Maybe he is happy about it. Who knows? But they used to have proof. But they led with he's in a cocoon of bitterness.
You see, they seem to conflate news with opinion these days.
Yes.
They seem to have this issue with the facts are the news. The opinion is everything everything else, and that's what they're giving.
A tamale of trouble, maybe.
That's good. That ties him into the caravan.
Yes, that's true. Then he's in the tamale of trouble about the caravan.
Yes.
Just wrapped up there and steaming. Just steaming inside those
steaming tamale.
Those corn husks of concern.
Yes.
You got to go with the alliteration if you're going to do this.
If you're going to do it.
The news reported.
Well, Lawrence O'Donnell.
He is living in a cocoon of bitterness. And they did it with a straight face.
Yeah, they did.
Seriously. Reports. Breaking news, folks. Breaking news. This is serious. Reports coming in that the President of the United States is living in a cocoon of bitterness.
Well, and I think it's evidence right now because we have CNN on all of the stories about Melania this morning. So
Calling for the firing of a top national security aide.
That's the president's wife doing it. Where's the president? He's stuck in his
cocoon of tamale of a fried pie of frenzy. What do you call a little Hispanic Mexican fried pies?
Flauta? No. Flauta? Isn't that a flauta?
Ron, what's the fried pie? Did I get it right, Ron?
You did get it right. I'm very proud of you.
The fried pies.
Flauta?
Little Mexican fried pies.
Empanadas.
That's the one. Empanadas. It's an empanada.
Sorry, I was thinking hard there.
I see. Hello.
Despair.
No, he's living in an empanada. Empanada. He's got nothing.
Empanada. Trademark that one. Trademark that before someone steals it.
You'll love our empanadas. Yeah, they're very light.
There's nothing in them. We tell you in the title, there's nothing in them.
Yes.
Empanada.
And how do you make these with no calories?
We just don't put anything in them.
See, I got the plate and I don't see anything.
That's because there's nothing there. It's nothing.
Just and these again are the empanadas.
Empanadas.
So
there's nothing there.
Wow, that's incredibly healthy for you there.
Even Empa is close to empty. It's empty nothing. Enjoy. Here, have some hot sauce.
I couldn't possibly have another. I'm just so full.
It's a wafer thin. Just the one.
We didn't do that as a bit. Hi, welcome to Empanada. Here you go, sir.
Here's your plate.
Do they fall on the ground? What is it?
It's nothing. It's our empanada.
That's it, Ron.
Move on. Next.
There's our video. A food truck.
Empanadas.
Empanada.
And it's just an empty truck. See? Gold.
All right. Hey, if you are living in a cocoon of concern, a tamale of trouble, a chrysalis of catastrophe, like the president, likely you just feel like staying in bed. Or maybe you have an Element mattress.
I wonder which would be more comfortable, an Element mattress or a cocoon, because a cocoon does hold you tightly there.
Does the cocoon have memory foam?
No.
Does the cocoon have copper ion fibers in it?
No.
So you know what that means? Your cocoon is going to be filled with dust mites and fungus and bacteria. Yeah. Do you want that?
No, you're right.
Element mattress, you don't have to worry about those things.
Much better idea.
The problem with the Element mattress, you wake up feeling refreshed. Yet you want to stay in bed.
Right.
There's the not. I have just picked up some member of the bridal party last night want to stay in bed.
Right. Yeah, it's totally different.
This is normally you're like this. Oh, I feel so horrible. I just got to stay in bed and try to. No. This is like, I feel great. I'm so comfortable. This is wonderful.
If you work from bed, this is a godsend.
It's awesome. Prostitutes, you will love it.
Oh, yes.
Who am I kidding? Prostitutes don't work in beds anymore.
It's
alleys and park benches and whatever. What I've heard.
The memories.
Okay, this is de-evolving.
Yes,
ElementMattress.com. Please go there and buy yourself an Element mattress. I have one. They are fantastic. It's the best mattress you can buy. They're made in America, and you get 100 nights to try it for free.
That's amazing that they can do that, because it is not cheap to send the mattress, first of all.
No.
Then they pay for it. They come back out and get it, basically.
And they don't charge it. Now, the horrible part is, and we've checked into this, they don't just resell that mattress. In fact, they can't resell those mattresses.
What do they do with them?
They destroy them.
Do they really?
They have to.
Man, I'm going dumpster diving at Element Mattress.
Based on your current mattress, you're still in good shape. And you know the funny thing is, they're antibacterial and antifungal. So if they throw them out back, you're good to go.
Doesn't matter.
You go, you're good.
You just blow it off.
Honey, we're good. There it is. Good to go. ElementMattress.com. Get one today. ElementMattress.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And the profound headlines are brought to you by Element Mattress. I think someone slipped something in the coffee this morning. There's a migrant caravan update. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Right.
We don't know where the caravan is, but we know where it's been because everywhere they were, there was left behind clothing, food and beverage containers, dirty diapers, and a wig.
Okay, well, first of all, that can't be true. This is fake news.
Why is that?
Because they didn't have any of those things.
No.
They didn't have food, they didn't have water, they didn't have diapers, wigs, please. They didn't have any of those things. If you had those things, you wouldn't leave the place you were from.
Right. I want to know what the story is behind the wig.
What do you mean?
I mean, someone was wearing a wig and they left it behind. Was this a guy posing as a woman? Was it a woman who didn't have any hair? And if it was a woman who didn't have any hair, why'd she leave the wig behind when they left? Or was it a guy posing as a woman who no longer needed to pose as the woman and left the wig behind instead?
That's a really good point.
So this, according to Rebel Media, we'll tweet out the link. It's fascinating. These items were found in the Sayula, that's in the Mexican state of Jalisco, where, of course, the
sounds yummy.
It really does. If you've never had the sauce that comes from there, it's amazing. This just in: just because a woman puts a penis in her mouth doesn't mean she consented.
We're going to cover that later. Let's just move on.
Shall we? Well, then this is a story that is tied immediately into that from our intrepid reporter on the mean streets of America, Captain Obvious. Most college students do not understand how to avoid blackouts.
Wait,
yeah.
They don't know you should stop drinking?
No! How are you supposed to know that?
I understand if they said are irresponsible, they know the blackout's coming, but they can't stop themselves, they're addictive. They don't know what causes the blackouts.
Nope. Few young people pace themselves. They don't know that if you drink water or realize how much liquor is too much. Between 30 and 50% of college students report drinking alcohol to the point of blacking out or browning out. I didn't know browning out was a thing, but apparently browning out is. I think that's where you just dip into unconsciousness.
I think it's what happens to minorities.
Is that what it is?
I think that's it. So
I should have had.
This is like saying, I keep plunging that knife into my belly, and I can't figure out why I keep bleeding.
Why am I bleeding?
I don't know why. It was like every day. I mean, all I am is stabbing myself, and then why is there blood always all over my clothing?
I don't understand it.
My clothing is always torn, and there's blood on it. I just don't understand.
I don't get it.
You don't get simple logic. Wouldn't you just go, something is causing those blackouts?
Yeah, they don't know that drinking too much alcohol too fast can impair their memory temporarily.
Maybe they did learn it, they just forgot.
Could be. I mean, let's say you got drunk to the point of blacking out and then someone taught you about it.
Oh.
You're teaching. See, it's the wrong time for the teachable moment.
So you're saying that the younger generations have alcohol-induced short-term memory loss?
I think I remember that. Okay. I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
I cannot remember.
Moving along. The captain of that capsized duck boat in Missouri, he's been indicted now on 17 felony counts.
Yeah, to get which Hall of Fame? He's been indicted into a Hall of Fame?
No, that would be inducted. This is indicted. It looks like indicted, but it's indicted, which I don't know.
That sounds much worse then.
If you've been indicted, that's very bad. This guy, 17 counts.
I don't know how I feel about that. They're going to have to prove to me, if I'm on the jury in that case, and we had discussed it back when it happened a couple months ago, that he was truly negligent.
He failed to properly assess incoming weather before entering the water. He failed to instruct passengers to put on their personal flotation devices. He made a verbal reference to looking at the weather radar prior to the trip, and that's it. For each of these counts, he faces 10 years and a fine of as much as $250,000.
I am really torn on that one. Some of those things I would say, like assess the weather. I don't know how much he did or didn't. If he assumed it was better, it kicked up fast. We know. Maybe he should have exercised more caution. But some of the other boats were out there too. They just managed to get to shore. Remember, he was not 7 miles off of shore.
No.
He was like, 100 yards or something?
Oh, yeah, if that.
Right, he was relatively close to shore. My problem with it is, ruining this guy's life. Yes, I understand people are dead.
It's already ruined.
That's true, too. But if it's things that have become the norm as well, So he's likely been on hundreds, thousands of these trips. And how many other captains in the Ozarks like that as well? Nothing has ever happened.
Right.
So in other words, telling people or not making put their life vests on or whatever, it's never been a problem before.
Right.
It's just you see what I'm saying in those?
It's it's very tough.
So you're going to have to prove true negligence, not a we normally don't have problems and I don't know.
Well, and then the civil suit's coming after this one.
Oh, yeah. This guy, regardless of punishment,
He's done.
whether or not, for the next 5-10 years of his life, this will consume it.
Well, here's some good news. The judge has released some defendants after losing re-election, asking if they'd kill anyone.
What?
This is a Texas judge. He reportedly released
what happened,
nearly all of his juvenile defendants after losing re-election last Tuesday, but not before asking if they planned to kill anyone. Harris County Juvenile Court Judge Glenn Devlin ordered the release of at least 7 kids, 4 facing aggravated robbery charges, reasoning that this is what the voters wanted.
Yeah.
Kind of a dick move.
It was. I saw the story when it first came out, and the headline made it real sensational, and I was like, yeah, he's being an ass.
Yeah.
But then when I read some of the details, he had a little more of a cover. He's still being a jerk. But at least he had a good excuse, plausible deniability, a good story to go with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just seems.
Because here's the thing. He didn't outright release them. He didn't say, I clear the jails out.
Right.
He just didn't hold them in custody for pending cases.
Right.
Like a lot of times he'd say, I'm going to go ahead and incarcerate you. I'm not going to let you out on your own recognizance or on bail or whatever. This, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all going to be back in court or in jail within a couple of weeks.
Here's the takeaway.
Yeah.
Republicans are sore losers. That's what they wanted you to get out of that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as bad as the news painted it, but he was still kind of being a jerk.
Yeah. Guess who's looking to expand his resume?
Is it Ricky
Stillwater? That's Ron Phillips. He's very happy over there doing whatever it is he does. Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel is not seeking re-election as mayor and has been very quiet about his post-office plans, but he's been attending meetings in New York with top executives at MSNBC and CNN.
There it is. There it is, folks.
Yes.
He is absolutely going to have a show, and my speculation, it'll be on CNN.
It'll fit in either place.
It will. MSNBC has a history of hiring these cats, these politicians, whatever. I mean, the Al Sharptons and all, whatever. But CNN, they want him. Rahm Emanuel, by the way, if you don't know his family's history, and he's several siblings or whatever, these are extreme progressives. These are the ultimate on that side.
Yes.
These are not, we kind of whatever. They're violent. They're mean. They are the worst. Control freaks, and they're connected.
Do they have a downside too?
They do.
Okay.
They do. Sure. They often do not clean up after themselves after dinner.
Pigs.
They just leave they go to McDonald's, just leave it right there on the store. Yeah.
Wow.
His brother is a doctor, one of his brothers, and they are connected on every front with the George Soros is out there. These are the globalists that are trying to control your life. They're that connected.
Well, he'll be connected and on the air somewhere. You can count on that.
The skull and bones puppets.
Yeah. It'll be exciting, too. I mean, with his experience in taking a city down, way down. He's done such a stellar job in Chicago. Really. I know this is an older story, but I want to get your take. The guy who identifies as a younger man, so he's suing. The 69-year-old man who identifies as a 45-year-old has started his legal battle to lower his age to help him attract more women on Tinder. Have you not heard about this?
I think I saw the blurb, and I think we were going to talk about this, and I forgot about it.
He argues that if transgender people are allowed to change their sex, then he should be allowed to change his date of birth. That is a valid argument.
Son of a biscuit eater. He's right.
It's a valid argument. How can they say no to him?
Pedophiles, folks. Done.
Pedophiles?
Why can't the 70-year-old dude have sex with the 8-year-old? He identifies as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe 8 because they can. Okay, the 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Why can?
Yeah.
The age is just a social construct, isn't it?
It's just a number.
It's just a number.
And this is the door that has been opened.
Wait a minute. Why can't I collect Social Security without a penalty?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why do I have to wait for that? And why can't the 12-year-old drink?
Yeah.
Why can't they?
These are the unintended
They identify as a 21-year-old.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I know people on the left, that's just ridiculous because you don't understand Zim and Zur and what It's not. It really is not.
It's a valid argument now that you can change your gender. Why can you not change your age? It is just an artificial construct.
And it's not just gender. It's race.
Yeah.
Rachel Dolezal and Sean King have argued that and the left, you're right, she's just a sister.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's welcome to the new age. Enjoy. We will continue with your headlines in just a moment after a word from our sponsor of this portion, Patriot Mobile.
Thank you, Brad Staggs. Now your commercial for Patriot Mobile.
Yes, that's
Patriot Mobile is a fantastic company offering you amazing services, and I hope you sign up immediately at patriotmobile.com/doc. Now
they paid for more than that. So
I have to give them a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I was preparing for the Vegemite Amitamix commercial.
That's not until next hour.
Okay, good. Patriot Mobile honestly does a great job and has amazing service. It is the perfect example of many things that we discuss and say, how do we do some good in the world? And we battle it with social media that is constantly shadow banning or outright banning conservatives and libertarians. Patriot Mobile is fighting that each and every day. They're fighting it directly and indirectly. Fighting it directly because they are a tech providing company. They deal in the tech world. And
it's a service that you need.
Right.
It's no longer one of those that you want. You need it.
So you don't have a lot of other options when it comes to other tech businesses, whether they be social media platforms or hardware. You don't have a lot of options. One of the reasons we promoted MeWe, for example, and some of them. Patriot Mobile's out there. They're doing battle each and every day, so you have that option. But then also they take a little bit of that money every month in their profits and funnel it to conservative causes and do not funnel it to progressive causes and such things.
That's craziness.
Right.
Are you saying that those other companies take money and give it to places?
I'm absolutely saying that. Yep.
Wow.
Patriot Mobile doesn't do that. But the big question on everybody's lips, their chapped lips,
yes,
they keep asking is, how's the coverage? I don't know. The coverage is wonderful.
If Sprint is good in your area, it's going to be good on Patriot Mobile. They use the same towers.
Right.
Simple as that.
Well, it's the whole infrastructure.
Yes,
But because some of those towers end up even sharing between them.
Yeah.
It's not like it was, 20 years ago. The coverage is great. You're not going to have any issues.
Yep.
Sign up today, patriotmobile.com. And if you're worried about because you live in a funky area, I would say sign up and try it.
Yeah, see if it works.
You can cancel it down the road.
Yeah.
You're not locked into
and they get the
40-year contracts. Now, if you want a better deal, you may sign a contract with something or whatever, but you can change down the road.
It's a 2-for-1. You buy a phone, you get one.
They have a BOGO.
BOGO. Is that? I thought that was only shoes.
It's buy one, get one. You can do it with anything. You can?
Yeah,
you can BOGO anything.
Not just shoes?
You can BOGO all kinds of things.
Whoa.
Yeah. You can BOGO downtown.
Wow.
Find the right people.
$20.
BOGO. Yeah, buy one, get one. You get a line, boom, they double it. You get 2 lines, but you got to sign up through the month of November. Sign up immediately. It's patriotmobile.com/doc or 800-A-PATRIOT. But please sign up today. patriotmobile.com/doc.
And there's such a pretty picture of you there when you do that. Well, I say pretty. It's Wednesday, November 14th. There are 40 days left until Christmas. Buy me something pretty. It's National Pickle Day, by the way. National Pickle Day.
Brett, I give you a nickel for a pickle.
I didn't know you were that kind of guy.
Yes, I am. I like pickles.
I bet you. Isolate that audio. Isolate that audio. It was on this day in 1851. It was huge.
1851.
Yes.
1851. Had to be Geyser. Geyser. They brought in one of the first oil wells.
It was huge. It was Moby Dick.
Geyser, Gusher. Gusher with that. Gusher.
No comment.
Geyser's the hot steam in Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Jellystone? No, Jellystone is the bears in the cartoon. Yellowstone.
Gusher is something completely. Moby Dick was published.
Whose dick? I mean,
so I was right with the Gusher.
Moby's dick. Moby Dick.
Herman Melville, folks. It was 1851.
1851.
Have you ever consumed that content, Rob?
I have not, obviously.
How about
I've
you?
never read the whole thing through. It's about a giant sperm whale, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So just,
I should read it. It's a classic, no doubt.
My wife and I were just having this discussion over the weekend about Moby Dick.
Were you?
Yeah, we were.
Ah.
And she herself said, yeah, it took her forever. She had to try it a couple of times before she got through the whole thing. It's just so long.
Isn't that the one, Call Me Ishmael?
Is that how it starts? Call me Ishmael.
Yeah.
That's the first line.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Moby Dick is so long. And it's actually really enjoyable. It just takes you a long time to get through it.
It really, I mean,
it's actually, there's a lot of humor in it as well. It's just buried in a different language, so you may not understand it.
Enjoy it over a number of days or weeks.
Take your time. Take it slow.
Yes, do not
ease
rush.
into it. Do not force it, and just enjoy. It really is amazing.
Yeah. In 1985, let's see, how can I say this? And I'd forgotten about this. It happened in Colombia. You'll never get it.
It didn't happen in Magenta?
No.
I don't know.
Volcano erupted in Colombia. This was in 85, and it killed 20,000 people.
What?
20,000 people died in this volcanic eruption, and this was in 85, and I don't remember it.
Yet we know Mount St. Helens. I don't know if anyone died in then.
Yeah, a couple people died. The old
not
guy.
20,000.
Not 20,000.
That was in 80, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1980.
Yeah. So anyway,
85. 20,000.
Chip Gaines is 43. Charles, Prince of Wales, is 69. Eunice, 31 today. No, not your wife. Somebody totally different.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Chip Gaines as in
Chip Gaines as in
Waco?
Chip and Joanna.
Chip and
Gaines,
Joanna?
yes.
Got a new network coming.
Yes, exactly. They got sick of the corporate runaround, too. And Nelson Aguilar is 15 years old today. 15. It's amazing.
What platform?
TikTok. 80 mazillion followers, just so you know.
Wow.
Just so you know. Let's move on. We have just enough time, I think, for our this.
And now, an important transgender update.
Now with sprinkles.
Victoria, forget he said that. Victoria's Secret boss has apologized for his insensitive transgender comment. He doesn't think transgender should be in the Victoria's Secret show.
Well, he didn't initially, and then he came back, and they had an official statement that was all right.
Yeah. He made the remarks when asked if the lingerie brand was seeing a shifting desire from what audiences wanted to see during its annual fashion show.
Let me help you out. He also talked about plus-size models and that. Here's why, and this may come as a shock to a lot of people. People that are interested in women prefer them without penises and to be attractive.
What? When did that happen?
Breaking news.
Wow. Those are your headlines.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
Imagine how excited socialists were on Tuesday when they got their first glimpse of Representative-elect darling Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Naturally, Ocasio-Cortez's first stop was to the office of Minority Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The newly elected Congress member was attending a freshman orientation when she caught wind of an impromptu sit-in outside of Pelosi's office focused on pushing for congressional action on climate change, of course. Standing in the middle of a group of about 200 protesters holding signs reading "Green Jobs for All" and demanding climate change reform based upon the UN's recent climate change report, Ocasio-Cortez said in reference to Pelosi, "We need to tell her that we've got her back in showing and pursuing the most progressive energy agenda that this country has ever seen." Perhaps this will be the only time Ocasio-Cortez has Pelosi's back, since she does not support Pelosi's bid to be Majority Speaker when the House takes over that role in January. Pelosi has pledged to reintroduce a special committee on climate change after Democrats take control of the House. I'm sure that's music to the ears of most Republicans. Not. Pelosi released a statement in support of the protesters, asking that the Capitol Police allow them to continue to organize and participate in our democracy. Ignoring Pelosi's request, 51 of the protesters were arrested Tuesday after refusing to leave a hallway outside Pelosi's office. Unfortunately, Ocasio-Cortez left before arrests were made. And that's today's reality check with Susan Knowles.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind
off of wanting to overeat.
And also boost your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. RidUZone.com. RIDU Zone.com. I got to get to a clip that Matt Locke discussed yesterday in the Conservative Cartel. Are you familiar with his broadcast? Have you heard of it?
I heard of it.
Yeah, it immediately follows ours on MoJo 50. It's a 3-hour enjoyable broadcast connecting with Conservative Cartel members all around the world each and every day.
It's a network.
And Matt Locke, who heads it up, does a meh job. He does. I mean, he's there every day. He made a commitment to be on now. Everybody else is a part of it.
I hear he's got the
fantastic.
best producer around.
I've heard he's okay.
Yeah.
He's the best producer that's in that studio at that moment.
At that moment.
At that
That's
moment, he is
exactly right.
fantastic.
I agree with that.
So check that out. But yesterday he said something intriguing. It was a little blurb that I was like, wait, what? I'm not sure. And he didn't really expound on it. I was like, maybe I got to get to the bottom of it. So let me play the clip. And then I'll tell you, I did the research, and I have some thoughts on it. Yeah. Do we have it here?
No, I was just asking you.
Yeah, I have the clip. Ready?
No, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because we have the clip somewhere. Anyway, so I heard the clip. Then I said, okay, I got to do the research, try to figure this out, because I think he shirked his duties a little bit by not, going in depth on it.
Can you do that in public?
Yes, you can.
You can, all right.
He made a reference and then went on to so many other things that it kind of played into, but didn't give enough duties or enough details of that specific case that he was talking about.
Right.
So I'm going to play the clip for you, and then I'll offer a bit of an explanation of what he was referencing, because you referenced it a minute ago too.
Right.
And then on top of that, I'll give commentary. I'll provide commentary as well.
And Ron is having to dig into the audio vault because all of these broadcasts are kept under lock and key and under several layers of encryption so that they don't fall into the wrong hands. So what he's having to do right now is enter all of the different codes to get into the audio vault to unlock that clip.
Okay.
I just wanted to.
There's no joke about that, guys.
I mean, you can see his. All
right, well, tell you what. Let me get to a couple of communiques while we get to the clip there.
It's a fabulous idea. Green jobs for all. Collect cow farts to power energy plants. That's what TJ Toppin just said. I have no idea what he's connecting to, but apparently everyone's been drinking.
Maybe it was the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes.
Did you hear what Susan Knowles just said, though? Paying attention to the... to her commentary there?
Yeah, about the arrests?
Yeah, that Ocasio-Cortez left before the arrests.
Huh. It's almost like she knew things would be happening.
I can't believe these people are falling for the nonsense that she is just Jenny on the block, from somebody just
She's
like
just
that.
one of us.
No.
She's just one of us.
I'm telling you, she and others have been recruited. I'm not saying, the people that said Obama was the Manchurian candidate and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to that grand conspiracy. It's not that. I mean, otherwise, why wouldn't he have done far worse? Not that he didn't do enough damage, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Well, that's what the checks and balances are all about.
Yeah, but
he
would have.
He did a lot. I mean, in
the Manchurian candidate was, there was hypnosis and triggers and all this. I'm not saying that. But I do believe that he and others were recruited. And I don't mean recruited by some people in the Democrat Party who said, hey, can we just, have some different he seems like somebody who could win and be successful. It's not that.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the George Soros. Maybe it would, but there are powers at work, people that are connected at whole other levels that we can't imagine that are recruiting these people.
Yes.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ends up with that amount of money in her accounts. She has that amount of money and is able to run while still playing this.
Yeah.
And then we told you the other one who we had audio who ended up on a broadcast, just, what's her name? Gonzalez, who ran for office as well, who, just like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, out of nowhere, runs for office as the Democratic Socialist.
Right.
Not just Democratic Socialist, who a year and a half ago was on espousing conservative Christian right-wing values on a little panel discussion. I'm going to say her name is Gonzalez. And that was it.
Democrat socialist.
Anyways.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing the things that money will buy.
All right, more communiques via the social media platforms. Please follow us on those platforms.
Let's see. Oh, TJ Toppin said also, I can see the bell. Just ring it for several minutes for everything that we missed. I don't know, they were referencing that classic literature that was published in 1851. Yes. I don't know what they're...
All right, so yesterday, Matlock from the Conservative Cartel had this to say.
Without a man and a woman, you can't have another human being. It's no different than in the animal kingdom. Without a pole and a hole, you're not going to have an extra. You ain't going to have a next human. That's why, I mean, I read all these articles. People are so freaking confused. That's why our population is going down. That's why kids aren't having babies. Hell, they don't even understand. They can't. I mean, they can't. I'm telling you articles about women giving you blowjobs, and then they're going to accuse you of rape because it doesn't necessarily mean when you put your penis in their mouth that they like it. Well, they're the ones that did it.
Okay, that's really graphic. Sorry to be that graphic. There's not a whole lot of other ways to say that. But I didn't fully understand what he was referencing. It seemed like he was mentioning some sort of news story. So I did the research, and I have the details.
Okay.
And the details are pretty much that, and this is several news sources reporting this as well, that a college sex expert has claimed now, this is again, a college sex expert. This is not just some dude that goes to college.
So it's
and is deemed himself the expert.
It's an expert on college sex.
Yes. It's a person who works at a college who teaches a professor about sex. Anyways, they claim that just because and I'm sorry to be graphic about this, folks, there's just no way around this.
This is the new world.
Just because a woman puts a penis in her mouth does not mean she consented.
Let that sink in for just a second.
Not she was forced.
Nope.
Coerced.
Nope.
None of that.
Nope.
That she knew everything she was getting into and knowingly consented and even took the initiative to place it there. Okay? Not somebody placed it there for her.
No.
Even though this has happened, it does not matter. That still may not be consent. And the reason is they say if at some point they later in their life decide at that point that they at that point much further in the future than when it actually happened retroactively didn't want it to happen, they are now able to retroactively revoke consent. They are able to retroactively revoke consent that they gave for an act that they initiated.
This is crazy beyond belief.
So, I realized part of the problem when I saw people commenting on this on social media. And the problem is it is very salacious. It's graphic. It's difficult to get around. And in our current environment and in the hashtag #MeToo history that we've now created for a year, it clouds our ability to discuss this logically. People on the left are automatically going to go, you don't understand consent, but rape and Me Too. And people on the right are like, I'm looking for common sense in this and we should discuss this. Retroactively revoke consent?
That's
what? None of this makes sense, but we're not able to discuss it because it's salacious and it's emotional. So, if we want to discuss this and decide if this is a good idea or a bad idea, we are going to have to discuss it by comparing it to other activities. You cannot talk about those acts without it automatically being emotional and triggering.
True.
So what we're going to have to do is remove the sex from it and use other activities because sexual assault is assault.
Yes.
And there are other types of assault.
Right.
So let's compare it to another activity. I mean, you could compare it to mowing a lawn or golf or anything, but let's say playing cards.
Okay.
It's an activity multiple people could take part in. I mean, 2 people. So let's say I'm hanging out with someone, a young lady, just hanging out.
Yep.
We decide to go to movies, maybe dinner, take part in other activities. Maybe we've hung out many times. And one night, we end up back at my house, and she grabs my deck of cards.
Right.
Grabs my deck.
Got it.
And begins, now, again, doesn't ask, hey, I'm going to grab your deck. Is that okay?
Wow.
She just grabs my deck of cards.
Rude.
And starts dealing it out. Doesn't ask me what game I want to play.
Right.
She doesn't want to, if I want Spit in the Ocean.
Right.
Bizwit.
Right.
Rummy.
Nope.
Go Fish. She didn't ask me about any of those.
None of those.
She grabs my deck.
That's...
And immediately begins to deal cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I say at that moment, I like cards.
Right.
I would love to play cards with her. In fact, I'll play any damn type of card game she wants.
She can make one up.
So there she is. My deck in her hand, dealing the cards. She has touched my property.
Yes.
Without my consent.
Yep.
Now, I at that moment was okay with it. But then later on, a week, a month, a year, she, calls the police, tells her friends, tries that scene in the court of public opinion, saying that she then didn't want to touch my deck.
Right.
She didn't want to play cards.
A retroactive decision.
Right. She did it. She started it. And I went along with it. But then now you're saying you didn't want to do what you started.
Right.
And I did want to do.
Right.
Am I then allowed to retroactively claim that she sexually assaulted me because she grabbed my deck? And
you should be
once I realized that she retroactively revoked consent based on an activity that she wanted to take part in at the moment and she initiated, can I then retroactively say she shouldn't have grabbed my deck in the first place because now that I realize that she's troubled by it, that I too am troubled by it? How dare you say you didn't want to play cards with me? I feel a little bit hurt by that. Can I say she sexually assaulted me?
I think that you have the right in this circumstance with these details, with the environment that we've created. Yes, you're well within your rights.
I want you to imagine not just you, but your kids. What happens if this is your son who's playing cards, your daughter playing cards? Back in the day, we understood something. We understood that if you want to play cards, play cards.
Right.
You know, certainly adults play cards. You make the decision. Some people go to Vegas.
Absolutely.
Some people will engage in activities where it's broadcast while playing cards.
Yes.
Competitions while playing cards.
Absolutely.
They have businesses where they make their money playing cards. But in all of those cases, they made the choice whether or not they were going to grab a deck.
Right.
And start dealing out cards.
Right.
And that was the standard. Nobody back in the day said it's okay to force somebody to pick up your deck and begin to play cards. Nobody said you must be able to force people to play cards with you. There were some gray areas about whether or not a husband can be forceful and encouraging his wife, and is it her responsibility to just play cards anytime he wants to play cards?
He wants gin rummy now, you give him gin rummy now.
Right. Got that. Maybe that was a discussion we need to have. Maybe we understood that, or didn't understand back in the day, that there could be a scenario where you're dating somebody, you want to play cards, you encourage them, you pushed it a little bit, even though they said they didn't want to play cards, but you convinced them.
Of course. Yeah.
That's a gray area. I get it.
Yes.
If you're saying, hey, just grab my deck.
Right.
Just grab it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Listen, you're going to love playing cards with me.
Everybody else has loved playing cards.
I'm sure you've played cards in the past. I'm sure you've had decks in the past. But my Hoyle deck?
Like none other.
Absolutely. It's fun.
Yes.
I am skilled at playing cards.
It's a new deck of cards. They slide off that deck.
And sometimes, Brad, You convinced them.
Yes.
Sometimes they were convinced and realized, oh my gosh, I said no to playing cards when I'm enjoying your deck.
I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
This deck is a lot of fun. And at that moment, didn't feel bad.
Right.
Didn't say, huh, he coerced me into touching his deck.
Right.
And end up, complaining about. No, they said, oh, it's like me, Brad, saying, hey, you want to try it? Nah, I don't like that. No, this is different. Try this. And you try it and you're like, oh my gosh, thank God I tried it. Right?
Good.
There were also cases truly where people are like, touch my deck. Pick up that deck. Rub that deck all over you and deal those cards out.
Yes.
And they went along with it.
Out of fear.
But out of fear. And truly didn't enjoy it.
Right.
Yes, I understand that's a gray area.
Yes.
But if we can simply say, in those gray areas, we have to prove that somebody did something wrong, because it's going to be a he said, she said.
Yes.
When you're playing poker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It could be a he said, he said.
She picks up that deck, or you force her to pick up the deck. Who knows what really happened when you were playing poker? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Outside of that, must understand and give the benefit of the doubt that almost everybody outside of crazy people believe that it is not right to force somebody to play poker or to pick up your deck and deal out cards. We do have some gray areas, so the standard must be, first of all, do not get yourself into a situation where you could be forced to play cards.
And that's what parents have been teaching forever.
Right. That's not to say if you get in a situation like that through your fault or other that you were asking for it. Look at you with those card playing eyes. Your hands were made for playing cards.
Exactly.
Look at you. Come in here. You had a couple of drinks. You're talking about poker, right? You're using words like hearts and diamonds, and I'm not supposed to get some ideas? That's not to say it's their fault. We're just saying being smart about it. Those are the gray areas, and they are rare. But if you want to come back on somebody 30 years later and saying you were part of some poker train,
right?
Yep. That you're at a party and people are forcing, guy after guy is going up to the woman saying, grab my deck and play poker with me now.
Yeah, or else.
And you ruin his career? No. That is not having the same concern for men and women. It's not having the same standard for men and women.
Nope.
You're claiming that one side can exclusively be a victim, and now you want to retroactively say you revoked consent on an activity that you not only willingly took part in, that you initiated. I'm sorry, that is the line in the sand. And here's what I say. If we allow this to continue, if we don't forcefully speak out against this and say, no, this has gone too far, I can think of only a couple of solutions where it would not be disastrous for men.
All right.
Only two ways that men will be able to protect themselves in the future. Number one, if men begin only playing cards with other men. Because a man would never grab your deck and then play the victim later. A man generally is not going to years later say, I didn't want to play poker. I didn't want to grab his deck when I grabbed his deck. A man's never going to come back on you like that. And scenario number two, men moving forward, if we don't stop this, your only other option in the future is to grab your own deck and play solitaire.
Wise.
That's all we've got left.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to say, no, but that's it. You've nailed them both. Each and every, both of them.
All right.
It was heartfelt. That's very,
You got to think about the kids out there.
Yes.
Got to think about the kids out there.
Yes. Yes.
They're out there. They're going to want to play cards, Brad. They're going to want to.
And I,
as much as we don't want to think about I mean, you kind of wink and a nod that your son's going to want to play cards.
Right.
You don't like to think about your daughter playing cards, and that's the angle they play on.
Yes,
that
they
the
do.
daughters are victims, that they don't, listen, they want to play cards too. It's a different standard. It's a different understanding, different set of circumstances, what precedes playing cards, what their perception of card playing will be, what they expect after playing cards, all of these things. They want to play cards. Number one, accept that most people are good and not wanting bad. Number two, card playing is natural, a natural desire to. Number three, do not get yourself in a situation where you could be forced to play cards.
Avoid those situations.
And remember, sometimes bad people are going to play cards.
That's true. You can't avoid that. That is a given in life. By the way,
do we have some communiques? I'm interesting.
Yes,
I see the
struck a nerve.
The Twitter board is moving quite a bit there. You'll notice Brad right behind Brad Staggs. You'll see we have the Twitter wall up. Hopefully, someday we'll get the MeWe wall up. Is there? The problem is there's so much of it that
it's.
We'd have to, on MeWe.
We'd have to blur it out.
Yeah.
High Country Digger, just don't use one of those automatic deck shufflers. That could get dicey. That's good advice.
You know what? Listen, true card players.
Listen.
We don't want that.
No.
I hate the auto. I like to shuffle the deck.
And yes, you want to deal by
It's
hand.
the activity. Come on, man.
Is. Yeah.
What are you embracing AI with card playing? Because that was the first step, the automatic deck shufflers.
Yes.
And by the way, if I'm playing cards, if I'm getting serious about cards, like in Vegas or something like that, I don't want any of these games where the computer tells me, what cards I have, where the computers, picking the cards or touching my deck. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
call me old-fashioned that way, but that's just who I am.
You're old-fashioned that way.
Okay.
But I respect you for who you are. Tara over on MeWe, a solitaire equals a cocoon of bitterness. I think that
Tara, you're right, and I don't want to de-evolve into that. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm saying that's what we're going to be forced into.
And apparently Jason would like more instruction, more I guess lessons class. He says, when is the MoJo 5-0 night in Vegas? He wants to learn, and that's good.
There's got to be books out there.
There have to be. You would think there would be. And maybe that's our opportunity. We expand into the publishing field.
I mean, I had a class in school.
Things have changed, though, since then.
Well, that's true. I mean, it wasn't an official card-playing class. I just had a physics teacher who really liked to play cards.
Right.
And he would talk about games and card playing all the time. It really wasn't even part of the job. It was not so much about physics.
Right.
Yeah, good old Joss Bob.
Oh,
that's what we called him.
Joss Bob?
Joss Bob.
Why'd you call him Joss Bob?
I don't know, actually.
Oh.
It was kind of a conflating of his first and last name and then moved around or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, Joss Bob.
Oh, Big Pharma Steve, got to be careful when playing cards that you don't wind up with a full house.
It happens at times.
That's good advice for life in general, I think.
You ever...
Have I ever gotten a full house?
No, you ever play multiple players? Like maybe a party, invite people over for card night.
Roman night.
Multiple people over there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing euchre, you're playing partners there.
And actually, you just brought up a very good point that Karen over on Facebook did. My Lord, going to the euchre club will never feel the same again.
It won't. It won't. Now, when you think about these things and how it can be used against you that way, because a lot of times, husband and wife will get together with another couple and play euchre, and then sometimes you switch partners.
And things, and you notice things either go really well or really poorly.
I'm hesitant to admit this, but
you sure you want to?
It's both that I have the knowledge of this, and then there's another. My brother-in-law is a really good euchre player. Let me explain. I like to play cards, and I'm a pretty damn good card player. But, man, when it comes to euchre, my brother-in-law runs the table.
Really?
He's an amazing euchre player. He beats me all the time.
Really?
And when it comes to choosing partners, and I get in line to grab him as my partner all the time. Right in front of his wife.
Wow.
I have chosen him, and he's been his wife sitting right there.
Wow.
I know, and it's
that's a good night of cards right there. That's a good night of cards.
He's amazing. He is absolutely amazing.
And I think
and sometimes he'll go it alone in front of us. And I
kind of risky, but
I always feel because you don't get all the tricks.
Exactly.
You do not. I mean, if you don't get all the tricks, you're not going to get the points.
No.
And then he'll go it alone, and it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, he's my partner, and I'm getting the points because we're picking up all the tricks together.
Right.
But I'm just kind of watching.
It's teamwork.
And so I'm like, hey, I want to join in, but my hand is not that good.
Right.
And his hand was great. And plus, he knows how to use it. So, he's playing, and I'm like, oh, we're getting the points and tricks, but I really want to take part in it too.
Right.
But I look at it now like a teachable moment. I'm learning how to get better. I'm watching his skill set.
You're open to learning.
So I can go it alone and be more productive.
Yes.
So,
you have to open yourself up that way. Otherwise, you don't learn.
And if you haven't played euchre, you should.
Did you even really need to say that?
Well, for those of you that have played euchre, you know all the references. You know what I'm talking about. Going it alone.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little like bridge. Or spades. But better.
Somewhat different, yeah. Wouldn't he said be playing Pokem? Is that not poker? Pokem?
I don't know the history of the word. I don't know if it changed by gender. I'm not sure.
That was don't paw the kitty #meow.
Well, while we're checking a few of those out, I want to remind you about The Rich Solution at therichsolution.com.
Fabulous idea.
The solution, what I like about it is it's rich. There's a lot to it.
And it's
it is a rich solution.
It's the answer. It's the solution.
Right. So if you want your life to be rich, you just go to therichsolution.com.
It's so simple.
And it could also make you rich.
Yes.
Lots of life tips in there that could make you wealthy. Lots of little play on words there. The Rich Solution. And it's from Gwen and Adam Rich.
It's weird that they would have the same last name as their
the
website.
Rich Solution. It's very fortuitous.
They were made to do it.
TheRichSolution.com tells you all about Gwen Rich's struggles. Not so much with Adam, but that's part of it. But she finds out she has cancer one day after years of saying something's not right and misdiagnosis and whatever. It's like, oh, wow, if you'd actually gotten that right years ago, maybe I could have been on the road to recovery.
Right.
Nevertheless, she decided to change her life and explore what it would take to get her the lengthiest life, knowing this is a cancer that so many people die from. And she has survived far longer than most people with this type of cancer. And it's multi-level. It's being your fullest spiritually, physically, socially, across the board. And she lays it all out in her book, and you can get it at therichsolution.com. Tells the entire story. After she got cancer, then she broke her neck, and just problem after problem, like comedy of errors.
And some people would that would be it. I mean, you get dealt.
I'd be in a cocoon of bitterness.
Yes,
not Gwen Rich.
Dealt that crappy a hand, you just give up.
Learn all about it at therichsolution.com. You can also learn about their supplements that have helped her survive as well, and get the different formulas at therichsolution.com.
Lori D loves the blood. Damn it, euchre. What about Sheep's Head? Is that a game? I've never played Sheep's Head. Ever.
It is a game. And you can play it.
See, I'm not much.
For just $20.
Same as downtown?
Yeah, it's same price. That's the buy-in.
Doggone. I am open to learning. And I'm turning over a new leaf.
Good.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, back in a moment with more of your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour. News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Authorities in Northern California had expected the death toll from a massive wildfire to rise, and so it has.
Authorities report more remains were found Tuesday in the grim search of scorched earth from the Camp Fire, the deadliest wildfire in California history.
Today, an additional 6 human remains were recovered, which brings the total
to 48. Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey, who adds that all 6 remains were located in homes in the devastated village of Paradise. The Camp Fire has now destroyed 7,600 homes. One of those belongs to 72-year-old Vietnam vet Howard Taylor.
It's just almost too much to take. It really is a strain on it.
Meantime, another huge wildfire continues to burn in Southern California. I'm Mike Rossi.
Defense Secretary Mattis heads south today. He'll be visiting troops deployed along the border with Mexico. Those troops are hardening the border against a flood of illegal immigrants vowing to overrun the border and stream into the U.S. Kevin McCarthy, the odds-on favorite to win today's Republican leadership elections in the House.
McCarthy's expected to easily defeat Freedom Caucus co-founder Jim Jordan to become minority leader in the next Congress. Steve Scalise and Liz Cheney are running unopposed for the numbers 2 and 3 positions. McCarthy's been lobbying for the position for months and has the backing of outgoing Speaker Paul Ryan.
Capitol Hill correspondent Molly Hines says Democrats have scheduled their elections for the week after Thanksgiving, the new Speaker to be chosen by the full House in January. Well, the Florida recount hits another bump in the road. This time the problem is overheated voting machines in Palm Beach County, the recount having to be restarted. Wall Street this morning, stock futures pointing to a lower open later on. Right now, Dow futures are down about 50 points. Now,
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
The Adrian Slate Show.
For some reason, that red hat is a dog whistle, and it's a triggering device. And in fact, there was a lady on an airplane. She saw somebody on the airplane with her with a MAGA hat, big red hat on. She decided to pen a letter and give it to her. And it said, "Dear Sir in the pretty red hat." I'm sure she really means that. "I wonder if you mean to scare black people, Jews, and immigrants. To us, your hat sanctions our deaths, our murders, our evisceration." I would have made a paper airplane and just beamed it at her. I mean, come on. I would have even taken a red pen and wrote MAGA on the wings before I commissioned it to flight. Trump's rhetoric will be blamed for my a-hole response when it was really just a fed-up conservative who's sick of the overreaction by the left. The same overreaction that leads to a bunch of homely, portly, Michelin men-looking women to strip naked in a photo for a voter outreach campaign ad that's called Grab 'em by the Ballot. More like Grab 'em by the fridge handle.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
The mothership has landed.
Stand by. The totally acceptable racist joke of the day is coming up in just seconds. But first, a reminder about Black Friday and our hashtag Building America Marathon.
It's going to be huge.
Use the hashtag Building America Marathon. Now, that's also going to be the hashtag that you will need if you are scouring Twitter on Black Friday to find out all about the great businesses that called in or that we gave some free commercials to on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're listening on Black Friday and you're like, oh my gosh, I heard that business that has a widget company that can't remember the. Just go search hashtag Building America Marathon. We will post across all social media. So on Facebook, we'll post the live broadcast from the studio where you can listen or watch us in the studio. Some guests will have in studio.
Yep.
And underneath each one of those, we will share those companies and you can comment and whatever. MeWe will do the entire thread as well. So you can go back through. We'll post it on our MeWe page that is now established.
Yes.
So we'll put all that up there. But it's coming up a week from Friday. Black Friday, capitalism, fun, the holidays. That's what it's about.
On display.
Couple of years ago, I'm preparing for a national radio broadcast. And I'm like, okay, and the president, and I was just in the middle of it, was like, nobody gives a crap. It's like late Thanksgiving, and I know I'm going to be on the air the next morning for a national broadcast, and I was just like, nobody cares. It's Thanksgiving, and it's Black Friday, and that's it. And I started thinking, okay, so what can I do? They said it's capitalism, it's shopping. So I'll share some of the stories, and I was like, let's help people, right?
Nice thing to do.
I mean, the big guys get a lot of attention, and it's like, well, they got all these big deals and sales and whatever. That's fine, and we'll help them out. What about the little guy? And I said, I'm gonna take an hour, and I'm gonna give an hour of free commercials. Boy, I hope people call.
Surprise!
Guess what they called?
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, I could have done more of this. So the next year, boom, I get the call. I'm going to be on Black Friday. Great. Maybe I'll do 2 hours. Boy, I hope people. I could have done more of this. So finally, the last year or so that I did this, I didn't even prep. I was just like, hey, call me tomorrow. And I showed up, walked in, turned on the microphone, and that was it. Pretty easy show. As it turns out, people like free stuff and like free commercials.
Weird.
So I said this year, how can we grow this? Because we helped a lot of people, and the people that email afterwards and like, oh my gosh, Black Friday ended up being so successful. Thank you so much. And I said, this is our commitment to truly helping people. That's one of the cornerstones, the pillars of what MoJo 50 is about.
Right.
Let's go bigger. This is our platform now.
Make it
a
huge.
Marathon. 12 hours, 6A to 6P, all day Black Friday.
I hope they call.
And it's not just, I did it again, Brad. I was like, I hope they call.
I do too.
I'm like, it's free.
Otherwise, Tap Dance City.
Yeah, exactly.
Da-dun.
Seriously, folks,
Hey!
it's coming. So you can call up. If you have any friends, family, you know somebody that owns a business and wants free commercials, tell them about it now. We will have all the information laid out on the website. We'll remind you the days leading up to it, phone number to call and whatever. If you want to pre-register to make sure you get a slot, you can go to mojo50.com so we can remind you that way and set it all up. But what I need from you, if you don't have a business, it'll be fun to watch. I mean, it's a fun show. It's just goodwill. It's fun, holiday capitalism, and we're kind of fun about that
So
stuff.
it's not Salvation Army, it's goodwill. Just making sure.
It's actually neither of them because it's going to be more positive.
Gotcha.
I'm like
All
that.
right. Okay.
But we could also use your help in sharing the videos. So one of the things that makes this work is if we can grow into a pretty big network that moment, those 12 hours, the moments of those 12 hours, it's the synergy, the web of people sharing the videos, the sharing the Twitter Periscope, the Facebook, the YouTube channel, sharing all of that. That's something you can do to take part in the broadcast. So the idea is if Bradley J. Staggs has Brad's Emporium of Vaping and Kumquats, it's a working
Why did you
name.
have to tell everybody what I'm about to
So
do?
it's your startup, sorry.
Jeez.
Quick, buy the
All right,
website.
fine.
So let's say he has that, and he's trying to sell vaping and kumquats online. He may have only, 4,000 people on all of the social media platforms.
Right.
And Ron's house of hair and trash cans.
And again, you go blowing his cover.
Has 4,500.
Right.
Okay. Together, you guys have 8,500.
That's a lot of people.
So he is consenting, hey, he will expose his supporters of hair and trash cans to your emporium of kumquats and vaping.
Right.
Right? And vice versa.
Yeah.
But then when you get hundreds, thousands of people sharing this, you are willing to share your few thousand to get millions of eyes on it, and they are as well. And everybody there is in good spirits about it. They get what's going on.
They're fellow jackholes.
It will help us help people. The more shares, the better it is for all of us. You are going to be helping the economy. You're going to be helping yourself. You're going to be helping those businesses. And you're going to be helping us as well. This is a win across the boards. This is lightning in a bottle. If you and your family members and everybody you know, if you can, for a day on Black Friday, be a bit of an evangelist for capitalism for us.
I was going to say, and you're fighting socialism at the same time. By promoting capitalism, you're fighting socialism.
You are standing against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her nuttiness.
Yes.
It is going to set it on fire. It's not going to, do you realize it's not going to take, 5 million people sharing this? just rebroadcast. You
Right.
share, we'll be on Facebook and Periscope.
Right.
It doesn't take 5 million people doing that. It takes a few hundred, a couple of thousand.
It's amazing how the numbers multiply.
And those people, even if they don't know, will see it, like it, share it, whatever.
Right.
It'll be a ripple effect around the globe. This will be taking a giant hammer of capitalism and slapping those people with it.
Right across
the
face.
It will crush them with this, because it's also the truth and the evangelism of the concept, the ideas and the values, right? Yeah, we're sharing the biz, but remember, during the broadcast, we're going to be talking about those positive things about capitalism. I told you a long time ago, I am no longer content with defending capitalism. Oh, Rahm Emanuel and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said this about socialism and capitalism is bad. Well, let me tell you and here's why capitalism is. I'm not playing that stupid game anymore with them. I'm telling the truth. Socialism, even democratic socialism as they call it, or as I call it, bad, has done more bad in the history of the world as a concept than just about anything else. Seriously, it has.
Yeah.
Capitalism and freedom go hand in hand. You cannot truly have one without the other. On this earth, as we know it, you cannot. And it has done more to save people from poverty and abuse, and even from racism and all of the things that the left. It actually does the things, or accomplishes the things in the long term that they want to see accomplished. Not the control, but the helping people and the diversity. It actually does those things. So I'm not content to defend it anymore. I'm going to be an evangelist for capitalism. True capitalism, not cronyism, not the crap that Facebook pretends to be, or Google, or Amazon, or any of these other big companies, when they actually practice cronyism by influencing government and using their money and lobbyists to shut down somebody else. That's not capitalism. That's cronyism. I'm talking about free market, the exchange of goods and services and ideas and values online. Everybody coming to that marketplace. And we can be that on Black Friday if you simply help us by sharing those videos and encouraging your family and friends to do the same. If we do that, we might be on the verge of something epic from that one day.
Totally agree.
I'm not expecting it to be that big, but it's possible.
If you share it as a tenth as much as you shared the snake meme.
The possibilities for this are limitless.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the amount of good we can do on that one day.
The numbers will increase exponentially.
It's pretty awesome, guys. I know we will do some good. The amount of good we do for the economy, for America, for these individual businesses, for you, for us, is just the question. How much good?
Yeah.
And that comes down to how much you're willing to be an evangelist and share it on that day. And that's it.
And now, the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
So a white guy walks into a bar with a parrot on his shoulder. And the bartender says, "Where the hell did you get that thing?" And the parrot says, "Europe. They've got millions of them."
This has been the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
A lot of white people in Europe. I don't know if you know.
A lot of white people in Europe.
So the parrot says, "Europe, they got millions of them.
There's a parrot.
They're all over the place."
It's crazy. The parrot talked that way. Yeah, it was amazing.
All right, please share your comments all across social media right now. We'll get to some of those coming up. First, though, I got to tell you about Dog Tag Furniture. You want to do some other good in the world? Go to Dog Tag Furniture. I'm sure they'll probably join us on Black Friday as well to tell their tale. This is an opportunity. I love the win-win-win stuff. I mean, win's good.
Yes.
Win-win-win, love. And win-win-win-win-win, awesome.
Really
Multiple wins, even better. The win-win-win-win-win-win of Dog Tag Furniture is, if you go to Dog Tag Furniture and buy one of these beautiful wooden flags or other products they have there, and look at this. This is so cool. Turn that around there. Look at that. Awesome. They can do some custom-made stuff as well. If you buy one of these, you are getting something awesome. You can give it as a gift, and you give a great gift. But you're also giving to a charity because their profits go to pay for the funerals of veterans. This has been lacking. I don't believe there's any other veterans charity that is exclusively used to pay for funerals of veterans.
I don't know of any.
There may be some that, first of all, there's not a lot that even pay for veterans' funerals, but there may be some out there, but I think this is the only one. It's dogtagfurniture.org, dogtagfurniture.org. If you check that out, you're going to get some cool stuff. You're going to be helping veterans. You're going to be helping veterans' family members, and you'll be helping us because they are a sponsor of this broadcast.
Yes, they are.
Win at dogtagfurniture.org. Check it out today.
Troy felt a calling. And what was it? It was after a friend of his
committed suicide to himself.
And
he did.
And then then his
yes,
widow
I know
stuck.
It's committed suicide, not to himself.
Right.
That's a whole long backstory.
But it is what it is. And it's he felt the calling. He wanted to do some good in the world. And he set out to, and boy, has he had roadblocks thrown down in front of him.
Oh, my gosh.
It's an amazing story.
Dogtagfurniture.org. Check it out today. So an interesting story out of, I believe this is Drake College. Drake College had an incident. Let me pause, by the way, and back up and say, Brad and I have called Bravo Sierra on something a couple of days ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Bravo Sierra. Brad, he texts me a story link and says, I'm calling Bravo Sierra on this tomorrow.
No smell.
And I said, it's funny because you said it, because I just said to Ron off the air that I think this is Bravo Sierra minutes before your text. And it has to do with some kids at a high school taking a big picture, all the group photo, a bunch of guys standing out there seemingly doing the Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
Then another guy giving a little secret white national symbol. Yeah. And I was like, this is not how it's being presented in the media. It's not just a bunch of Klan members in high school or something like that.
Right.
And now we have some additional information, although one kid who didn't give it was on CNN going, they were trying to force me to be a racist. Now others are saying, no, it was just a joke. You missed the entire point, right?
Yeah. It's the whole thing has been just goofy.
And I cited yesterday examples of, I think it's University of Michigan, University of Michigan, where there was racist graffiti. It ended up being by a black person, whatever. Now I get an interesting story out of Drake University. And the story is that a person of color, black chick,
right?
Black chick is in her hotel room, dorm room,
right,
or heads back to her dorm room, and she finds a note under her door.
Okay.
A handwritten note that says, I'm pretty sure this is the one.
Would you like some glasses?
I was just trying to stop it. I can read it. I don't need glasses.
Well, here they are, just in case you don't need them.
If people just use proper font size.
Right, yes. Well, in the meantime, until the interweb catches up to your eyes.
I mean, it's just, hang on. Haven't we all established that font size, there are standards font sizes?
Size matters.
Right. And if you want people to easily be able to read the font, it is standard that you put it in 24 point.
I believe
Isn't that standard?
I think it's 12, but...
No, no one's reading 12. No one could see that.
Okay.
I think the Bionic Man can read that.
Okay, Grandpa, just...
It's like 24. I mean, if you really want to make it easy, just make it 30. That's standard.
Why don't you just make it 100? So
I'm fine with that. I mean, why would you make it smaller? Just trying to cause people trouble?
Just
okay.
See how much better? See how much bigger the font got with those?
These just magnify the letter because I have a copy of the letter here.
Whatever it works.
So this black chick goes to her dorm room, and finds the note, and it says, "Dear Porch Monkey, we've decided that we no longer want a darkie on our campus, which means you need to leave or else."
Okay.
Now, I say I'm pretty sure that's what the letter says, because most of the stories I saw about this will not even, it just says racial slurs and demanded that they need to leave.
Right.
I'm pretty sure this is it. If not, it's probably similar to that. So again, This is what the letter says. She finds, Dear Porch Monkey, we've decided that we no longer want a darky on our campus, which means you need to leave.
Okay.
Initial thoughts on that, Brad?
First of all,
I'm calling Bravo Sierra on this, folks.
It just doesn't feel right. It's one of those that just doesn't feel right. It's like the guys that stayed in that hotel over the summer. Remember the black executive that said he got the note in his
and it didn't happen at all.
It just doesn't smell right.
What about the black guy got pulled over and claimed, was he the mayor or a councilman? This is the beginning of the summer, spring.
Yeah.
Got pulled over, and it was on tape. And he claimed the cops said a bunch of racist stuff that didn't happen.
Right, yeah.
And then after the video was released, he doubled down on it. Still swore it happened.
It's the attention.
Let me understand this. There are racists out there.
Yes.
There are not
absolutely.
the I said something satirical about race and you melted down. Truly pointy white hat marching in the woods, lynching black folk.
Well, and there are black people who hate white people, and there are yellow people who hate brown people.
But in this scenario, let's just talk about the whiteys that are racist.
Yes, they exist.
And I'm sure at colleges, just given numbers, percentage, there's going to be, I mean, thousands of people, maybe one, some, I think it's very rare, but that could be there. And let's say at Drake, there is one of these. There's not going to be dozens of them. I mean, outright would do something this reprehensible. And that person saw this one black person. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of them. It's not like, oh my gosh, there's only one darky on campus. Let me go harass them.
Right.
So this one racist finds one of the many minorities and says, that's the one I'm going to harass.
Right.
And then they find their dorm room. They have penned this note. Mind you, they didn't use the N-word or some of the other more obvious ones. They write it and then slide it under their door under the cover of darkness, willing to see that people may notice who's there, knowing that there are cameras everywhere.
I was gonna say there have to be cameras, and if there aren't, first of all, the university's crazy, but if there are, look it up on the tape.
Brad, here it is, right? We know it happened between these hours, and I'd be willing to bet they can narrow it down to a few hours.
Well, it's hard to pull up that kind of videotape. Videotapes are
no,
big.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
So you could narrow it down to a few hours, and all you have to do is say, here's who left or went to that dorm between these hours. I mean, hell, there may be a camera in that hallway, but if there's not, you're at least going to be able to say who came and went during there.
I would imagine that there are security systems where you have to use your key card to get
So you can narrow it down to somebody in that dorm or somebody that visited that dorm.
Yes.
Maybe hundreds of people. But still, you can narrow that down. You can't investigate this and get to the bottom of it?
Of course you can.
You, as an investigator, you wouldn't say, hey, has anybody given you the business? I'm calling Bravo Sierra. Even the outright racist out there is not going to put this on the dorm room or under the dorm room door. They're not going to do that.
No.
You mail them something or whatever. You're going to be this dumb with your handwriting?
Yes,
Come on.
Does not feel right.
If that one racist exists on Drake and they decided to target one of the minorities and then they wrote this and slid it under the door, Bravo Sierra. Either they didn't like this person for another reason and we're giving them the business. It's quite possible and likely that was written by the actual person or some progressive out there that's trying to gin up the divide for political gain or opportunity, or somebody that just hates them for a different reason, an X, whatever it is.
Is it handwritten or typed?
Handwritten.
Get a handwriting expert. That's an easy one.
Right.
That's an easy one.
And you, the little minority snowflakes out there, so triggered by this, what do you think's happening? You think if this racist exists, they're demanding that you leave campus. What would you do if somebody demands anything of you?
My first reaction is generally 180 degrees the opposite of whatever I'm demanded to do.
Yes, absolutely, along with you know what? F you.
Yeah.
Yes, it comes.
Brad, I demand you take this $1 million. How F you. I'm not taking that.
No, I would take them. If you, that's one I think I can bend a little bit just for you because you're a friend.
I don't know if I can. I really hate when people demand things. I really do.
That one I think I'm pretty sure
I demand you do. Oh, as soon as you do that, it's off. We're done.
The attractive woman demand.
So if you demanded this, what? I'm living in fear now. I'm living, oh my gosh, they demanded this of me. I'd want to know who it is.
Yes.
I'd want to confront him. I'm not some, shrinking violet here where I'm going to cower in my room. And I'm certainly not going to do what they did on Drake. Hashtag this is Drake.
What?
They started a couple of campaigns. Hashtag this is Drake. And also hashtag paint it black.
Okay.
Paint it black, Brad. That's their response. The student body has generally melted down.
All right.
And they started the hashtag Paint It Black campaign. And they're encouraging people to paint it black. It being their doors.
They want
their dorm room doors and others. Paint it black to stand against racism. It's the Paint It Black project. So they paint their doors black and they put little messages, which is difficult because then you got to paint it in white.
Yeah.
Because black on black doesn't show.
No, it doesn't. Unless you use sheen on sheen. In other words, if you paint the door like a gloss, you could use a flat
Still
black
doesn't
paint.
show up well, though.
Well,
it's
it
very
just takes
difficult.
a little bit
it's
of
not as
effort.
dynamic. According to the hashtag Painted Black project, they say it's a community organization crafted by active advocates for anti-racism on Drake University's campus. We're fueled by campus-wide support, including that of the faculty, many student organizations, Student Senate, and beyond. The mission statement is this. The hashtag Painted Black project seeks to publicly recognize acts of hate and shatter the conventional campus culture of silence to foster a sense of community across identities.
So many words.
Then the vision statement. Isn't that the same as the mission statement?
I've always thought that. I get those.
We at the hashtag Painted Black Project envision a renewed campus culture of allophilia.
Oh, I did that once in college.
No, I think it means you love all people. Acceptance and campus-wide dysfunction of racial intolerance. And then at the bottom it says, allophilia is a term that means generally liking and having positive regard for a group of people that does not belong. The term was coined by Todd Paninsky, who was unable to find the word meaning of the opposite of prejudice. The four main factors of allophilia, are admiration, trust, connection, and engagement. They put that at the bottom. If you have to put a definition of the words you're using, you're doing it wrong.
Wow.
So they want this. So their attitude is that prior to this, that there is a campus culture of silence that supports racism. Up until this moment, it exists on Drake and other campuses. Is that your impression of what's been going on college campuses?
Hashtag media whores.
Hashtag painted black.
Yeah.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
Now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RiduZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's work. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to RiduZone.com and try today. You're going to love it. RiduZone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
The Conservative Cartel.
Dear white lady, What are you doing to us? Now, this is written by a black woman. Sometimes we wind up in the grocery store checkout line together. Come to think of it, our children graduated from high school in the same class. But I guess in the hustle and bustle of raising kids, it was just too hard to get any time to ourselves. The point is, for a lot of years, we've been like ships passing in the night. I meant to introduce myself sooner, maybe invite you out for coffee or get the kids together for a play date. After all, I want to think we're more alike than different, that even though I am black, our challenges are more similar than not, that we both want great things for our kids. She says, I've been really meaning to ask you something. What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell are you doing, white women? Why would you vote for that misogynistic piece of crap called Donald Trump? I'm so much better than you, and I'm black, and I know more than you. So it's got to be your fault, you white suburban women. We just passed in the night, and we're divorced, and we've got all these things in common, but you're an idiot.
All right, lots of people learn a lot of stuff. We'll get to some of those communiques coming up. But first, got to remind you about the great folks at Relief Factor.
Oh, I'm so happy that they came on board over here at MoJo, because Relief Factor is something that we go way, way back, and now it's something I can't imagine going a day without.
Well, the reason I like it is because they have this factor of relief.
Yes.
And who doesn't want relief?
For a long time, I was taking Pain Factor.
That's
and
horrible.
Every day I'd wake up in pain.
Yeah, and you're
I
like,
thought,
this got to be a better way,
it
right?
has to be. And then I discovered Relief Factor. I was like, man, why was I taking Pain Factor all those years?
Pain Factor. That's a
Not
euphemism
good.
for marriage, right?
It really pretty much is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wanted to clarify.
So Relief Factor is, it's not magic, although it feels like it when you take it. You take it every day, and you take it as directed, which I feel so stupid saying that. Take it as directed. But the number one reason.
Think about that when they always said that on the commercial. What they're really saying is, don't take it another way.
Right, yes.
Don't take it the wrong
Yes.
way.
I've tried holding them under my armpit for
It's not
all
doing
day.
anything.
It didn't do anything.
And you try to swallow that cellophane wrapper, and it's just so hard to choke down. No, you take.
I've been feeding them to the dog. It's not helping me out at all.
And the beauty of it is, it comes in. I'm gonna open one of it. Little packages. Each individually sealed package like this has there's 4 little pills.
Brad, it sounds great, but I don't want, some medication. I mean, medications, so common, and some drug. Big Pharma, I just can't support that.
It's not Big Pharma. As a matter of fact, this is a family-owned business. Pete and Seth Talbot, great guys. I've known them for a long time. When you take Relief Factor as directed, and for, let's say, 7 to 10 days, that's the average length of time that people take it, that finds, hey, it works. Or they say, no, it didn't work for me.
I love, and it works for many more people than doesn't.
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, once in a while, it doesn't work for people. Or
yes.
Every so often. But Brad and I have had this happen over and over and over again with people, where they start taking the stuff, you don't hear from them for a few days, you forget about it, and all of a sudden they come to you one day and they say some form of,
wow, I feel so much better.
Brad, oh my gosh, that Relief Factor.
Yeah.
And you go,
it really does work.
And we go, yeah.
Or in the case of your mother-in-law, it's what was it? She started feeling better, and she didn't know why.
She didn't know why.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I was like, and I try to avoid talking to her.
Right, understandably.
And so I'd given her several months' supply. And I asked my wife, I was like, hey, have you heard anything about it? Nope, not heard anything back. And I was like, okay, well, it doesn't work for everybody, but it works for maybe it'll help her out. Because she has the arthritis.
Right.
And those ritis boys, Arthur's the worst damn one.
He really is. He's just a real pain.
So, yeah, often she's in bed with arthritis. And Arthur, the worst damn one.
Really, truly.
So she ended up doing stuff around or whatever. A couple months go by. And my wife says, again, I'd asked her a couple of times. Nothing. Comes to me with no memory of my having asked her about that, or even a month or so later. She goes, by the way, my mom is feeling much better. Arthritis isn't bothering her as much or whatever. And I was like, huh. And she goes, yeah, she can't figure it out, whatever. And I said, she's still taking Relief Factor? Yeah. Huh.
Go figure.
Dude, I even said that, and they were still like,
yeah.
They're still just looking at me, and I was like, it's the Relief Factor.
At that point, you just walk away.
I go like this. I go, stop taking it. Stop taking it right now. Just be done with it.
Yeah, she did.
Guess what happened?
Yeah.
Guess what happened when they stopped taking
Pain
it?
came back.
That's right.
And that's the beauty of it. You can try it, and then see if it works for you. Stop it when you've taken it for a while. Stop taking it. See if the pain returns.
I tried this 3 different times, specifically with my sciatic. When I was running, and it gets tender and by the way, I got another pain. I'll tell you about that soon.
Yeah.
My advancing years.
Yes.
So I tried it and even said, you know what? Maybe the sciatic was going to go away anyway. It's been a week or so, Brad. Maybe it was going to go. Mind you, that time when I finally decided to try Relief Factor, it hadn't gone away for like 3-4 weeks.
Right.
And normally it was only a couple of days. And I tried stretch, nothing. So I was like, you know, it worked, but maybe I just didn't give it enough time. So knocked off the Relief Factor, whatever. Had down the road, had a sciatic flare up.
Yeah.
Started taking it again. It worked again. And for me, same thing. 4 to 5 days is when I was like, bing, it works. And even then said, for the purpose of these commercials, I'm going to try it again, the exact same scenario. 3 times, same scenario, 4 to 5 days, sciatic pain goes away, you're good to go.
Stuff works. You go to relieffactor.com, you get all your questions answered. You can call them at 800-500-8384 and ask them questions if you have any. And I would, if I were you, I would call them and ask them the questions.
Largest mammal?
Yeah, they can give you, you can ask them any question at all, and they will find the answer.
No, fastest land animal?
Cheetah.
They'll answer. Not you. Will they answer them?
Yeah, I already asked them that question. They answered. So.
Oh, gotcha.
800-500-8384 or go to relieffactor.com.
Relieffactor.com. This is one of the messages the hashtag Paint It Black campaign sent out. And this was kind of going viral. People were sharing this. Ready? If you're not in support of the movement that's about to hit Drake's campus, every student of color, and I will see you for exactly who you are. Hashtag Paint It Black. Hashtag This is Drake.
Wow. They're going all in. I'll give them that. I will give them that. I just...
Folks, the racism as we knew it 20, 30, 40 years ago does not exist as a standard in the world or in America. There are still some examples. There are still some people that is similar to things in the past, but it is not what it used to be. Things are much, much, much better. And the idea or concept of institutionalized racism is crap. The reason that came up is because they know things have gotten better. But they knew as things get better, they lose their power and their victim status.
That's just
truly things were wrong and bad at times in the past.
Absolutely.
The people out there, the race baiters, the race hucksters, like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Yes, those people out there that made their fortunes, their power base off of race. Now, I will even not challenge their past for the purpose of this discussion and say, maybe their heart was in it for the right reason, and maybe they did some good. But the bottom line is things changed, and they knew their power was slipping. So they came up with this, race is going away, Brad. Everybody's going to look, you can get a job. There's laws, rules. You can't say things. We have done so much, but we're going to lose our power. They came up with the idea, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. They wanted to believe in institutionalized racism. No, the racial boogeyman's still out there. It's just ingrained in the system.
Well, you know, there's the national, the Congressional White Caucus, and all they do is sit around and think about ways to hold
none of that stuff. It's not in the system. It doesn't exist. And these little examples of racism, we've told you there's a bunch of fake ones out there. Nobody ever hears the truth. They just put it out there and they see there's another example. And then these little campaigns makes them feel good.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's just part of the racial machine, the racial hucksters, the industry of racism.
There's a lot of money in
The
it.
big business of racism.
Yes.
It's power and control just like everything else, and that's what they're doing. Hashtag Paint It Black.
I agree with Liberty Hoosier. That whole story BS. This isn't the 1960s. No one uses that term anymore. I don't even know. Was it porch monkey?
Yeah.
I don't even. It comes from history. I don't even know why they ever where that term even came from.
Right, and I'm going to call Bravo Sierra on that as well. Because although some people may have used the term porch monkey to reference black people in the past, there were lots of people who used it to reference Hispanics and Puerto Ricans as well.
Did they?
In my community, we did. I mean, they did. I mean, some people did in certain communities.
I don't even know what a porch monkey is.
It's a monkey that's on a porch.
Well,
what more do you need?
But how did that ever become a racist
Because they would
term?
hang out on their porches. And people like to say monkey to reference people.
Okay. All right.
It's stupid terms. These things don't even
dumb.
It's ridiculous. Come on.
I was trying to think if I know any if I actually know any racist. I'm trying to
And
think.
by the way, why would you say something like that? That is, okay, monkey has been a racial slur. We know that. But to say they're driving around fancy, expensive cars, I mean, isn't that saying that they've achieved? I mean, if you are, again, their words, a monkey who's driving a Porsche or a BMW or anything else, to say they're a Porsche monkey is insane. That actually kind of benefits them.
Why wouldn't you use, in this day and age, if you are a real racist leaving a note like that and you wanted attention, why wouldn't you use the N-word? That would trigger the hell out of it.
Or like give me an inexpensive car, like a Cavalier monkey, as opposed to a Porsche monkey. Or what's a lower?
I don't
like
think they
a
mean.
Fit.
I don't think they mean the car. I think they mean it's not. That would be Porsche. It's porch. It's porch.
Oh,
porch. Yeah.
Well, that clarifies it a bunch.
Porsche. Yeah. Totally different.
Well, that clarifies it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad I could help.
Just didn't make sense. You're saying they're driving a nice car.
No, see, it doesn't. It's that Porsche. It's two syllables.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know, folks. Good to know. Steve, I'm going to need you to edit that part out because I do not want to look bad. I want to Ron edit that out. I'm afraid that that would get out of control. People would look bad. Okay, good. No one should ever edit it out of all the broadcasts, even the live stream. Okay?
Yeah, the turn back time. And Liberty, okay, Liberty Hoosiers, tweeting fool. Only time I've ever seen that derogatory term was in Hank Aaron's biography. No one, this generation even uses that term.
Did Hank bust it out?
I don't know.
Because, listen, I'm one of those good guys, not like everybody else that's the same race. I'm guessing he probably said people called him that. That's my speculation.
That chick probably failing out of school. Had a girl who was failing a class accuse me of being a racist when I was teaching assistant. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make Mom, Dad, I can't stay. I'm afraid. Look at the note I got. Well, that's a long way to go to get out of class, but I guess it's possible.
I got to be honest, though. If I'm on campus and you're trying to motivate me to a cause, whatever that cause is, I'm probably going to be more driven if the hashtag is something like satisfaction or you can't always get what you want. Hashtag you can't always get what you want. I'll do you one better. You put hashtag brown sugar.
Oh, yeah. See? How come you taste so good?
How come you taste so good? Brown sugar.
I do like brown sugar.
Come on.
Brown sugar is an underused sweetener.
I encourage the non-cray-cray people on the campus of Drake to use the hashtag brown sugar. You want to show you're not a racist. Tell them you're willing, as the white guy or the white gal, to get you some brown sugar.
Yes.
Doesn't that show the ultimate you're not a racist?
And it's love. Yeah. It all comes back to it's all love.
Right. I mean, because even the people, back in we went through many levels of evolution of not being racist or evolving away from being racist or, having racist.
Right.
And, we got to a point probably in the 70s and 80s where you'd hear people say, listen, look. They'd say, I have no problem with other races. Black folk, they can do what they want. Listen, they can live in my neighborhood. I have no problem. I have some of my best friends are black. They can live across the street. I still wouldn't want my daughter marrying one. But I'm, right. That was the one line in the sand. I don't care about the rest. I just don't want my daughter marrying one. My son, he can go out and shack up with a couple here and there. But I don't want my daughter marrying one. And that goes back to the racial divide that was stirred up by some of the newspaper magnates like William Randolph Hearst and others out there who ran these horrible cartoons, these political cartoons of black men being monsters raping white women.
Right.
And as a society, we tried to defend the virtue of white women by keeping those monsters away from them.
And
that was at the core of the racism, because you got to remember that racism didn't date back to the 1800s, to the 1890s, or excuse me, the 1850s, prior to the Emancipation Proclamation and the Reconstruction amendments. That was in general just different people. It wasn't black men raping white women. Some of that, but it didn't. The basis of our modern racism goes to those cartoons of black men raping white women. And that is the early 1900s. That's one of the reasons we have not been able to get beyond it. It's been 150 friggin' years since the Civil War. And we can't get beyond this? That's why. So during the 70s and 80s, when we got to the, hey, we're not racist, except my daughter, Marion the Darky. Right? That was it.
Yeah.
So isn't the ultimate act of non-racist is, give me some brown sugar.
And going back to your point, aren't marriage licenses, wasn't that?
Yes, they were, Bradley J. Staggs.
And no one thinks about that today.
The reason you have to get a little marriage license, no matter where you are, what you are, the reason that the government was able to stop you prior to the Supreme Court ruling marrying if you are a homotype sexual. The reason that we had to go through all of that with the homotype sexuals, and most of them on the left missed this, is because the government set those up to keep the darkies and the whiteys from marrying.
Yeah. And still, we've let that, no one attacks that. That's a funny thing, that we've let that one hang out there in the wind.
When Thomas Jefferson got married, when George Washington got married, did those cats go down and get a marriage license from the state? No, those things didn't exist back then. They got a marriage license or got married through their church. So while we had this debate over the years of, well, I don't want gay marriage, but I'd be okay with some sort of civil union. So what is the difference? Well, it's because of my faith. A marriage is a covenant between man, woman, and God, which I believe.
Right.
But that was the argument. But if the government wants to tell them civil union, it's okay. What? We don't have to have any of that.
Yeah.
Government, no, go away. No, go away.
Bad government. Bad.
How about this? And you people so screwed this up by forcing legalization of gay marriage. You screwed this up because you actually are now beholden to the government. The government could at any time deny you that then.
Yeah.
Any right that the government gives you, the government can take away, you numbskulls. You fought for it not because you wanted to get married, because you could do everything else that a married person could do, right? You could be forced to do chores around the house, have sex, whatever, right? Listen to the blah-bitty-blah. You can do all of that without being married. Why'd you push for it? Because you were wanting legitimacy. That's all you were doing with this.
Yeah.
But the government can take it away. So what should have happened was you say, we got married in a church. Some church recognized it. It's the church of, holy moly, we like the homotype sexuals. Great, wonderful. And this church over here, we don't like them, so you're not married through it. That's it. There it is.
They have fabulous drapes at that first.
The government said we are going to pass marriage licenses in order to keep blacks and whites and other minorities from mixing with white folk. And that's what's happening.
It's still out there.
I would not, if this was 100 whatever years ago in parts of the country, have been able to marry my wife because she is not white. That's it. We wouldn't have been able to get married. And we put up with that nonsense.
It's pretty stunning when you think about it. It's amazing.
Hashtag brown sugar. How come you taste so good?
So good.
And
those are Rolling Stone songs, folks. That's the gag there.
And Rolling Stones was a group.
Was a group of musicians, folks. That's the gag there.
Yes.
And a group means a musical act that used to make records that people would play. Records, folks, is a recording device that people would use to record musicians.
And flatten vinyl out.
Let's just move on.
Yeah,
All right. I think we have one more of these to do. Got to remind you about Tar River Arms, the great folks at tarriverarms.com. Brad, Tar River Arms is in firearms, is revolutionizing the way we order sandwiches online. Tar River Arms sandwiches, which is
guns. Tar River Arms. You see,
well, that makes more sense.
Arms
Gotcha.
refers to guns. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sandwiches. Tar River sandwiches is totally different.
Well, I'd encourage them to branch out because I could use a sandwich right now.
Yeah, you could see the sandwiches.
You've done such a great job with the Tar River Arms. Explain how this works. You spent a lot of time. You're getting ready to buy, aren't you? You're getting ready to buy a gun.
Well, you know what they say. You can never be too rich, too thin, or own too many guns.
That's right. Or use too much garlic.
No, you can use too much garlic.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, well,
shut your dirty whore mouth. You cannot. Stop it right there.
I'll tell you a story about garlic tomorrow. No, Tar River Arms, it's America's first virtual gun store, and the reason they call it that is you can...
So it's not real? It's like virtually one?
It's real. It's like VR, virtual reality. I mean, it's almost the guns you can see in 3 dimensions. You can spin them around. It's not like just a flat picture. This is the next evolution. This is like a stepping stone to holograms. That's basically what it is.
Nice.
Tar River Arms is evolutionizing or revolutionizing the way that you buy firearms online. Or evolutionizing them. They could grow a third ear. But here's the thing. You can see these guns in high definition, and in a lot of cases, you click on the little icon, and you can spin the gun around in 3D space. It's really, really cool.
But, I mean, for that type of tech, it's got to be expensive. The guns are got to be high priced.
Nope. You see, because of the fact that they sell on a nationwide basis, their prices are actually lower than what you would expect.
But it's got to be shipped to an FFL, so they'll charge me a price for that.
Well, you see, here's the thing. They throw that into the cost that you pay online.
Yeah,
and
but I'm going to pay the shipping, though.
No.
Wow.
That's all in there, too. And they have packages that they put together.
You know what? I'm almost sold, but here's the problem. I mean, that's all perfect. I'm going to save money, and they don't charge me for that stuff, and I can see it. It's perfect. But I know this firearm dealer, the guy's a veteran. The guy's a veteran, and all things being equal, I got to side with the veterans.
Tar River Arms is veteran-owned.
What about operated? They're sitting some fat cat.
Veteran-operated, veteran-owned, so you're doing a good thing at the same time.
You got me.
See?
You got me. I'm out.
You had me at veteran.
All right, it's tarriverarms.com. It's tarriverarms.com. Check it out today, and I think we're about ready to wrap this show up. So as we wrap it up, let's do this.
20 minutes, let's go!
All righty. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, your end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, I thought I screwed it up.
I did too for a second, but you didn't.
But before we go, as always, let's brought to you. Did I get to? Okay. See, you screwed me up. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that most people are attracted to attractive women without penises.
That is so weird. That's like a revelation.
We learned the only thing worse than a cocoon of bitterness is a Russian nesting doll of despair.
Well, you know, Trump and the Russians, come on. Doesn't this prove it?
He's been colluding with Russian nesting dolls.
Yes.
There was never mind.
Sometimes the jokes are just in your head.
Just keep going. Keep moving. Don't say them, Doc. We learned Moby Dick is a very long but enjoyable book. We learned if you have to explain and define the made-up word that you use in your press release, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
We learned that that if we allow the retroactive revoking of consent to become acceptable in this nation, you better only start grabbing your own deck and playing solitaire.
That's good advice. Life in general.
I think that's it. Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Well, I learned that truly it must be hard to get anything done when you're wrapped in a cocoon of bitterness. I mean, your arms don't even move if you've done the cocoon right.
I'm not even sure you have full consciousness and are fully aware in there.
Spread your arms. It's really, and get smelly, I would imagine.
The good news, though, from that cocoon of despair evolves a beautiful butterfly of hate.
Yes, with incredible hair.
I also learned today I need somebody to tell me whether the cocoon you spin for yourself comes out of the front hole or the back hole. I mean, if you're going to spin a cocoon.
Maybe you could help him out, MeWe.
I'm just asking for a friend.
You know what you got? You got a lot of people that are going to put pictures on the MeWe chat room of people with butterflies coming out of anuses. That's all you've created today. Just that's the challenge.
I learned
they're making them right now. The memes are being created.
Yeah, I can see them.
Probably one with a blue waffle.
They're spinning them as we speak. See what I did there?
I did.
Thank you. Yeah. I learned you can find a racist under every rock, especially if you're failing in your classes.
Yeah, and I would say especially if you're wandering around the woods in a white pointy hat burning crosses.
Yep. I think you can find them there, too.
You'll find them under those rocks.
Mm-hmm. And finally, I learned that there's going to be a card game at my house later. Y'all are invited.
Good card game.
Yeah, be plenty of decks we can play.
There's not just going to be one deck?
What fun is a party with just one deck of cards?
Yeah, you ever play blackjack?
Oh yeah, yes.
Double deck?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes triple deck.
Wow.
So, and I've been in Vegas when I've played like 8-deck blackjack. It is
out of a shoe.
Oh yeah. Mm. It is really. I mean, there's some stories I could tell you, but you know what they say, Vegas, and it all stays right there.
I played as part of a competition.
I'm not going to say I won, but I had a good time.
Brad, what, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
No, the MoJoinians over on MeWe.
I like that.
I see. That's
MoJoinians?
They named themselves, and I think it's
I would have
perfectly named.
I would have thought MoJoers.
That's why you are not naming the MoJoinians.
MoJoyites?
MoJoinians. It just rolls off the tongue. It rolls off MoJoinians. Mm-hmm. Constitutional drunk, which apparently is harder to say than MoJoinians. Moral of the story: play Monopoly, which that's technically not a card game, but I see where you're going with it.
There's a cheesy joke in there.
There really is.
That really stresses on the cheese. Maybe we move on.
Pinochle. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome, MeWe chat room. You're welcome.
And no one brought it up until I just did. Joseph Hall, how much to play with my deck? $3, same as at CVS. And
Hoyle, baby, Hoyle.
Hoyle. Any oh man, I can't get there. Oh, Donald Allen. Now, any white kid yelling Black Lives Matter or any stuff like that is just plain full of S.
It's a good point.
I just
remember. You can paint it black. That's fine. But why would you paint it black when you can get some brown sugar?
Oh, yeah. How come you taste so good? Over on the Twitter, Indiana Mike learned leftist women won't play euchre because they don't like being trumped. I see what you did there. Nice, Indiana Mike.
You know what, though? There's plenty of white women that like being trumped.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
And plenty of other people on the right that want to be trumped as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, some girls don't like boys like me. But some girls do. And remember, good girls don't, but I do.
Yeah, baby. I'm your Nancy Squirrel. Speaking of good girls, if you're having issues playing cards, avoid anything with menthol. Not only will it offend others at the table, it's just gonna hurt your hand. It really will. That's good advice in life. 1024th Jack Hole learned if you're going to put a woman on the cover of a men's magazine, you should probably make sure she is attractive.
That's probably true. Stephen English, one that I retweeted, he said Drake is more like hashtag sympathy for the devil.
Yep.
And Master Shuffler, TJ Toppin said, Master Shuffler.
Master Shuffler.
He said, Relief Factor has not worked for me. I put it in the cart. Do I need to complete the order for it to start working?
Yes, and that's a common complaint. And they're working on it. The fact that you can't just put it in the cart and have it work for you. You actually have to get
order
it,
get it, and then consume it for those number of days.
But
I did not get to those new numbers on procrastination. Tomorrow they're on. What else do we have?
Oh, tomorrow.
Too late.
Yes.
What does Matt Locke have coming up? Too late. Too late. Let me just say that today's broadcast is a Ron Phillips production.
Very good.
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now you go home.
See, you did it. You did it.
Good work here. We have accomplished a lot. I can now go get a root canal. Unfortunately, I'm
See?
not joking.
Yeah. There's that.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.